I think we are live. It's been kicking me on real quick lately. For a minute, it was taking a hot second to get there. But let's go. Can I get a moment of your time? Smoke a little, life's a game of chess. Drugs, guns, hooters got me on the run. Let me shine a little light. Can I get a moment of your time? Smoke a little, life's a game of chess. Drugs, guns, hooters got me on the run. Let me shine a little light. I grew up on the 50s, I love my whole city. Got the little ones with me, I ain't going back to prison. House with a yard, I get my own unlocks, I walk my own yard. I'm Figaro and filthy. Where I come from, dog, everybody's filthy. Get your hands dirty with them concrete burpees. Beer runs and licks. My heart was made, dog, with every single brick. Legend in my own. I get my little shine on. Got a house loan. I see a hater smiling, broke with a mouth full. Run with my ninjas. Used to gun with my ninjas. Used to split top ramens on the hood with my ninjas. Can I get a moment of your time? Smoke a little, life's a game of chess. Drugs, guns, hooters got me on the run. Let me shine a little light. Can I get a moment of your time? Smoke a little, life's a game of chess. Drugs, guns, hooters got me on the run. Let me shine a little light. 53 tortas, Johnny's on the corner. Fidel was on the block. Pizza so hot, cheese slide right off. Terrace 49, I got. Check 1 2 1 2 1 2. Is everybody in? Is everybody motherfucking in? Gas Monkey, I see you, my G. Oh, man, I halfway agree with you on that shit, dog. You know what I mean? You never know what you're getting when it comes to politics. And we will get into that. And Gas Monkey, please call in. We're going to open up the phone lines, brother. You can call in and you can, let us know how you really feel. Today is Veterans Day. I want to thank you. I want to thank all the women, all the men that have served for our country to give us this freedom, this liberty, the rights, the life that we have. Thank you very much. Thank you, my sir, my G. Wow. Yes, sir. Well, you know what we got to do, Manscaped. Manscaped is a sponsor of this podcast, so we got to do a little Manscaped thing. Is your dick hair outgrowing your dick? When your girl smiles, does she have pubes stuck between her teeth? That's disgusting. Look no further, Harry, Dick, and Jane. Wow. www.manscaped.com has made a cordless hair clipper specifically made for a man's landscape. Yes. Use promo code Hoodstocks and get 20% off and free shipping. Manscaped.com, promo code Hoodstocks. Every time our promo code is used on Manscaped, it helps our sponsorship, So if you want to get a birthday present for, it works for females too, even though girls, they like to get the wax thing, but if they like to keep the rug short and tight to the, these clippers will work for them as well too, very good product. Guarantee you guys. Okay. Some people say, hey, they're like, hey, look, we don't know about the Manscaped fucking promo shit before the podcast. Maybe you should save that somewhere in the middle. And it's funny, bro, because I've had a couple cats. They're just like, hold on. That shit kind of turned me off to listening to anything more of what you were talking about. And I was like, all right, well, there's other podcasts out there for you then. Keep it pushing. I'll see everybody tapping in. Can I get a moment of your time? Yes, you can. What up, D. Bo Green? I see you. For years, as much as I thought I was a wolf on the streets, the more I think about it, I was just another sheep on the streets being led off a cliff from drugs, hood rats, a falsified aura of respect, dopamines, fueling my foolishness. A lifestyle I was clearly addicted to. And to this day, I still love. Call me a hypocrite.
I don't know. I spent so many years in the streets, you know what I mean? But I know what it does to you. I know the repercussions. But I noticed the further I educated myself, the further I separated myself. Here to educate, here to elevate, here to set your mind on another level, a better understanding. Sometimes we need a better understanding of life to have a clear vision, right? Out of East Los Angeles, on a Wednesday, Veterans Day, we got a Navy vet right here. I want you all to give it up for Dr. Anthony Felix Jr. Let's go.
Thank you. What's up, everybody? Good to be here on Hood Stocks. I appreciate the love. Thank you. Thanks for having me, Lucky.
Yes, sir, dog. And I, you know what I mean? I thank you for, you're a returning guest, bro. The last time you were here, I believe was like 8-9 months ago.
Something like pre-COVID,
bro. You were running for a congressional seat.
Yes, sir. United States congressional seat, Southeast Los Angeles, District 40. Okay.
And obviously you're still, pursuing your politics. I mean, last time you were here, you were with the homegirl Delicious.
Correct.
Yeah. How's Delicious doing, bro?
She's fantastic.
Yeah?
Fantastic. She actually was part of the movement to get Measure J passed. So Measure J was on the ballot, a ballot initiative talking about redistribution of funding from incarcerating folks to reallocating it for alternative programs and restoring the rights of those who were formerly incarcerated so they can vote.
Yeah, she was. She saw that you're coming back on Hood Stocks, and she had nothing but good things to say about you.
She's family. Not like family, is family.
Yeah, most definitely, bro. So shout out to Delicious, and we will be having you on the podcast soon. You and your crew that's doing all the good things for the community, most definitely. And sometimes when I start talking like this, slap me. You know what? There needs to be a button. There needs to be a button for not for the guest, for the viewers that you can automatically press. Never mind. Anyways, thank you, my boy, for being here, dog. What is it? Let me ask you a question, bro. I feel good today, dog. So the past couple podcasts that I've had, bro, oh, my boy, I was spent, dog. I mean, the last podcast that I had, I did the podcast after an 8-hour grueling day of school, bro. I mean, working at work is a different, it's a different tired than sitting in front of an instructor for 8 hours, bro. You know what I mean? I think it's easier for me to work, do physical labor, bro, and do a podcast opposed to doing mental labor for 8 hours straight and then attempting to do a podcast. So the last 2 podcasts that I've had, bro, so the past month I've been in fucking school, night school, Saturday school, like fucking just getting like, ha, ha, ha. You know what I mean? And it doesn't feel good, dog, you know what I mean? But hey, I'm trying to like, you know what I mean? I'm trying to get, I'm trying to get there, my boy.
So what are you saying? You're fully gassed up, charged up, ready to do it?
I feel good today,
All right,
dog.
let's do it.
I feel good, 100%, dog. Let me ask you a question, brother. You being a Navy vet, what does this day represent? What does it mean to you, my G? Besides a free meal at a motherfucking Applebee's.
Aside from the free meal from Applebee's, it means everything to me. Veterans Day, I have been fortunate enough to serve in the world's greatest military, the United States military. And what it means to me is honoring and respecting not only those who are currently serving, but those who have fallen and those who have previously served in this brother and sisterhood of the great nation of America. That's what it is.
Amen to that. And I'll take a shot for you to that.
I salute that.
Thank you,
Salute.
brother. Salute, my G. Well, real quick, I know we're here for Politics 101, and, the homie said politics is basura. I get it. But we're going to open up the phone lines, like I said earlier, and you can call in through Instagram. I'll let you know when, not right now. And you can speak your mind. You can shit all over your phone while you're talking on it. You know what I mean? And we will listen to some of it. But because I always want to create an even balance in the conversation, bro. You know, like I had a homie on one time that said this, and so I had to balance it out, and I had another dude that was saying the opposite. You know what I mean? You're a Democrat, correct?
Yep.
Okay, in 2 weeks, I'm gonna have a Republican on. How about that? A white dude that walks around with a fucking American flag as a bandana for a face mask. You know what I mean? One of them dudes, you know what I mean? One of them dudes that you see him on the streets, you be like, this racist motherfucker. But he's actually a really cool motherfucker. You know what I mean? I love the dude. He's a co-worker of mine. First time I'm gonna have a co-worker on my motherfucking shit. This dude is fucking highly intelligent dude, very articulate, and he will give you his perspective of what it is to be a Republican and why he votes Republican. But we got the big dog right here. And with the climate that we're in right now, my G, I mean, bro, thank you, Donald Trump, for teaching me what the word concede means. I never knew what that word meant.
Yep. I mean, chalk it up. Take the L. You got to take the L. Concede basically means take the L. Keep your chin up, right? Hoodstock, we from the streets. Keep your chin up. Don't let the man get you down. So, yeah, the climate is everything. Right now, we're so polarized in politics, given the fact that it's all about blue and red, right? Republican versus Democrat. It's really not about that. It's those who are in power who are pushing that on us as the people, because this has never been this vocalized in the past. Every year it grows and grows, but because they're pushing it into our daily lives, what is it called? The reality star in chief, right? Every day it's like a TV series we're watching. What's going on? Don't want to get too much into the discussion about 45, but we're just in a place where we don't need to be. I mean, people that have a football team don't even go this hard for their football teams.
Bro, what the fuck, dog? Like, I've never, you know, what makes me pay attention more is not because, you know what I mean, I'm growing out of my childish funk, you know what I mean, but the division that I see on these very streets right here, bro, is fucking crazy, bro. The division that you see on the news. I mean, has there ever in the history of our presidency ever been this much division in regards to Democrats and Republicans? Like, we are forced, like, we need to know what's going on. Motherfuckers like me, I need to know what the fuck's going on, bro. You know? And so here we are at Hoodstocks having this conversation, bro.
That's right.
Of you're gonna break it down and let us know the dynamics or the spectrum, right? As you called it.
It is a spectrum. So let's just, that's a great segue into the starting point. So let's just jump right on in raw, right? I mean, we're doing it raw, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's not just as simple as red, blue, right, left. You know, miss me with all that. That's just how it's framed. But in reality, it's a spectrum. And if we had something here, maybe you can add to it to your podcast. As I go down the spectrum, right? It's a range of different views, with the stark end of the right wing being fascism and dictatorship, right? You got fascism and dictatorship on one end, and then you have total anarchy on the left end of the spectrum.
What is fascism?
Fascism is authoritarianism. What is authoritarianism, you might ask, right? So that's dictatorship. Where, for example, you have Kim Jong-un in Korea, North Korea, right? What he says is gold. What he says is the law of the land. It's what he believes should be. So it's one supreme person running the government, calling the shots, saying what it is and how the society is going to function. That's what fascism is.
Okay.
In a nutshell. I mean, we can get technical, but that's what it is. And then you know what the other end of that is: total anarchy, deregulation of everything, buck wild, martial law, right? That's the left end of the spectrum. But those are the polar extremes, right? You think of North Pole, South Pole, those are the extremes. And then within the right wing and the left wing, you come down the line, and then you have the monarchy, right? Which was back in the day, Europe, kings and queens. They're the rulers of the people, the haves and have-nots. And then on the left end, we're going to use the S word, right? Some people are afraid of it, but they don't really know what it is. And it's often misinterpreted and connected to communism, which is socialism. Democratic socialism, we'll focus on that later, but you have socialism. And then as you get closer to the center, right? Centrist being the middle. So you're not leaning heavily one way or the other. You're just based on the issues to keep that neutral balance. Then you got moderates on either end, right? folks that may be issue specific, but lean towards the right, a little more conservative on things, or lean to the left, a little more progressive and liberal on other things. That's in the political spectrum where we're at, because we don't per se have a extreme polar, I guess, a polar atmosphere in the United States, but it seems like 45 is pushing it that way with fascism and an authoritarian type of government.
And 45 is
the current occupant of the White House.
Is that how you refer to the occupant of the White House, the current president?
I mean, we'll give him the respect, the United States President of America.
Okay.
But I'm not giving him any shine. I mean, not that.
45, the 45th president.
Right.
Okay,
and so that's how we refer to him for those who don't
Exactly.
agree with him. But I'm not bashing him because I just don't like him. I'm not bashing him. I'm just stating the fact on how I feel based on his policies and his character representing.
I mean, when it comes to a democratic social climate, a democratic social climate is government is more in control of what's going on. Is that correct?
So let's take it back
Opposed to Republican.
So it's putting essentially a more of a socialist view of democracy, which is what we are, right? As a democracy, the will of the people decide on where we should go. Well, it's actually in America is the people decide who is going to be their elected representative, whatever level of government they're representing them on, that's their will. But it's the ideologies of those folks that are occupying those seats or have that power or authority to use. You're buying into a person's philosophy, and their philosophy will represent you because you believe it ties best to you. So with the socialist aspect of it, it's moving the needle where we're no longer putting the power and authority into the elites, the wealthy. We're moving it towards the people like us, giving us back the power.
Because I was a Republican explained to me saying that a Republican point of view is you are in more control of what you would like to do in regards to the right to bear arms, the right to do what you want with your money, how to spend it, how much you can make of it, et cetera, et cetera. You know, bro, let me just clarify something right now, which is obviously I'm the elephant in the room, bro. I don't really know how to navigate through this this conversation right here. So please grab that steering wheel,
Okay.
bro, and just like you hear what I'm saying?
We'll ride together. Yeah, it's like shooting in the dark, right?
Yeah,
Shooting in the dark.
I'm not educated enough to navigate through this shit, bro. So just please, like, you know.
I mean, I don't think that it's not that you're that educated. It's just that understanding the dynamic of politics is just foreign to a lot of folks. And if they're not about that life, then it's a foreign language. So there's a lot of things that folks out there that can provide expertise on that I may not know about. But don't discredit yourself is what I'm saying. You just don't know what you don't know. You may know, and it may be framed differently. So how about we start here? So there's various levels of government, right? Let's just start at the 101 piece. So you got different levels of government. You have local level, which is the city level, right? That's your local government, your city council. Then you got the county level, which is board of supervisors who make decisions in the interest of all that are impacted by the county. And then you have state level, which is there's two sides to that. There's the state assembly and state senate, and they make legislation legislation is policies, rules that govern California, and they make those decisions like stuff like freeways, air quality, water quality, investigating folks. And then you have the federal officials, which would be United States. And this is where the polarization comes in. And this my team, that's your team, F you, pro me. You have two chambers at the federal level. You have the United States Senate, and then you have the United States Congress. So different levels represent different things. And at the federal level, the decisions that they make are decisions that impact America as a whole, that are policies that America abides by, all Americans abide by. So if you have a council in Pomona, for example, making a decision, the authority of their decisions only impact residents of Pomona. So if whatever they say is not going to affect anyone in East LA, South Central, but if United States Congress and or the Senate make a policy that or propose a resolution that is passed and it becomes policy, it affects all Americans. I don't care if you're in Little Rock, Arkansas or Honolulu, Hawaii. So those are the 4 levels of government. There's really 3, but I throw the county in there because it's a self-governing body. So we can dissect it from there, or we can talk about certain legislature policies, however you want to approach it.
Well, answer this for me, bro. What is bipartisanism?
Bipartisanism. Yeah. So bipartisan, it's a Latin bi. So essentially, bipartisanship is often referred to in the field of politics is folks from either party, right? The 2 main parties in the United States are the Democratic Party the Democrat Party and then the Republican Party. So partisan, right? Partisan is your party. You're only partisan. You're only concerned about things that are going to either be productive or counterproductive or advance the will of your ideologies from your party's view, which is the objective of the game, right? It's a game, essentially. And then bipartisan means you're willing to come together, cross your party lines, to negotiate, leverage, collaborate. I feel that it's not about negotiating, right? The art of the deal making. It's really about collaboration. It's a give and take, and it should be something where it's amicable, where both sides get something out of it, and no one feels like they got taken advantage of. Both sides walk away and feel like they got a W, and that's compromise, communication, and working to effectuate policy that is going to benefit the public, all Americans.
Okay. And so we spoke about climate. So this is what it seems like it came down to, bro, in this election, right? You had individuals like myself that voted for the first time, okay? And so when a person like myself, my level of education in politics, which is, we'll say it's fucking 3rd grade or something like that, right? We're looking at the individual in office and we're looking at not what they're doing, but how can I say it? The reaction of them being in office. And I see individuals that feel it's okay to wave Confederate flags now. I see individuals that are armed and they were going to voting sites, bro, and they were, I don't know why you would go to a voting site with a fully automatic or semi-automatic weapon wearing body armor. Like what this election has done from an individual's like myself's view, it is like we said, it's created a lot of division, and it's either we have people going for each other's throats, bro. Like man, fuck you. You know what I mean? Oh, this is Trump. Fuck you, Biden. Oh, Biden's he's a pedophile. He's this and that. Oh, fuck you, Trump's a fucking racist. Ba 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 woo woo. Oh, Kamala Harris. How you gonna vote for Kamala Harris? Oh, she wants to reform police. No, when she was in fucking as a district attorney in San Francisco, she was hanging every motherfucker for a motherfucking nickel sack of weed, put in prison to climb her political
status, right? Her
status, bro. But this is obviously a fine art of what politics is. You know what I mean? Like to a certain extent, right? Like, bro, like what? I'm so fucking confused, bro. Like I'm not a fucking Biden supporter, but I don't want to see this dude Trump. And maybe it's not Trump, maybe it's all these other people, bro, that I see that he's pumping up and making them feel like he doesn't want to denounce the Proud Boys. He doesn't want to speak on certain things, that like in regards to the racism stuff. He's pro-police, but I have a lot of cats on here that are Trump supporters, a lot of Hoodstock supporters that are Trump supporters, and bro, like, Is this podcast gonna make you unsubscribe because what I am saying, bro? Are we now fucking enemies, bro? When you may not have a fucking, Trump may see you and look at you like you're the fucking dude that fucking supposed to take the dishes off his motherfucking table at a restaurant, or you know, vice versa. There's different ways to look at it, bro. Like, I mean, bro, I'm so fucking confused on this shit. But at the same time, I'm not a Biden, Kamala Harris supporter, but at the same time, I want to see this motherfucker out the fucking office because I don't like what the fuck this dude's fucking creating. So it's like, dude, you gotta pick the worst of the better evils. I don't know, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of taking, and you probably went through a few bottles during this whole campaign, right? The election, drinking some bottles to deal with it. I mean, everyone.
It's stressful, bro. We already have COVID-19 popping off, bro. And then everybody's saying, bro, if you get Trump out of the office, the economy's gonna go down. Biden's gonna shut the whole fucking shit down. Bah, bah, bah. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We're gonna be fucking. We're not gonna have jobs. We're not gonna have this and that. But at the same time, you gotta look at it. How many people have fucking died of the COVID-19? I don't know what the fuck Biden's gonna do. You know what I mean? But how many people have died of it? Has Trump dealt with the COVID-19 properly in your eyes, being a fact that you're a Democrat, bro?
Short answer, no. That's my short answer. But I mean, to go back a little bit on what you're saying is it really the person, or is it a reflection of those, or an enablement of the supporters, whether it is Biden or Trump? Doesn't really matter, whatever side you're on. I think that people make conscious decisions, and it's definitely given folks who were hiding in the woodworks a platform to come out and proudly say who they are and show their true colors, right? You know, like all of a sudden, and so it's become real street. It's essentially gangbanging, but on a political level, right? Like, you have folks who are willing to die for this because their belief is very different from whoever they've targeted, right? And it may be nobody. So, I mean, people. If you take the key players out of it, let me say this first. Biden and Harris were not my first choice, but it's what I had to work with. So you got to pick a team. I went with them. I rode with them because the current occupant of the White House has no decency. I mean, if we told some fabrications or lied right now and we were fact checked, our card would get pulled right now on your live stream. We'd get blasted. But yet the president is lying daily, nonstop, through tweets, whatever it may be, whatever medium he decides to use. They fact check him, and people are still riding with him. So I'm riding with Biden because I have no alternative. I want America. Today's Veterans Day, Lucky. I want America not to be looked at the laughingstock. I haven't flown an American flag at my house during this entire administration. Best believe, come January 20th, I'm putting my flag back up.
And you're a veteran.
And I'm a veteran. I mean, as military, we're supposed to be nonpartisan. We salute not the person, we salute the symbol, what it stands for. And we support the president because of the office, not because of the person who is occupying that position. And so, if we take that person out of the equation, or those players, if you sit down with someone who really thinks starkly different from you and you have a conversation, I've done this all summer. I've sat with several groups, bringing those who are conservative minded with those who are more progressive minded together to engage in a discussion to talk about why you feel that way. Someone may say F you, but if you bring a platform for people to share their ideas or their views, you'll gain a little bit. If you listen, you'll understand, oh, okay, now I see why you believe this. It's either because you're a freaking idiot, or because, wow, that's why they truly believe this. And now you've learned something and you have an understanding as to why they believe whatever it is that they do believe in. And then you essentially come to find out that people are more similar in what they really want. What do you really want? You know, you can have a neighbor across the street who may have a different view, but you come together taking these political figures out of the equation. And at the end of the day, whatever you want as your outcome, that your neighbor may want as well. It's just because you have to pick a side and media hypes it up. Folks in kind of twisting what is being said to make it their own, to manipulate it. So they they get favoritism or they're right. No one is right. It's just what is actually in the best interest for you, your family, your wealth, your health. That's what the objective is.
Okay, so when it comes to the best interest, okay, let's speak on that. Two-part question I have for you. Best interest. If you're a Democrat, what is your best interest on voting for Biden? And if you're a Republican, what is your best interest on voting for Trump?
I mean, I can't speak on both sides of that, so I can only make assumptions because I have my own philosophies, ideologies, beliefs, views, and values. I think on the if you're voting for Biden, first off, again, we're no longer the laughingstock of the free world. We gained decorum in the office. Definitely, I don't know if it's going to be 100%, but you'll get some level of truth. You'll have some level of honesty compared to what we have. So we will be able to have a leader who can progress the policies. And I'm not saying in a leftist kind of way. Let's use the word advance to take that away. So advanced policies that are going to benefit everyone. And if it's not true, then we hold him to account the next. If he says like he's going to give a pathway forward for DACA recipients, if he says he's going to improve the Obamacare, right, and allow those with pre-existing conditions to have health insurance and kind of give access to folks that don't have access to certain things. Whereas on the conservative end, again, this is my assumption. I can't speak as like this is fact because I don't think conservative minded, but in playing the devil's advocate or as being as neutral and as fair as I can without discarding or bashing anyone, I can say that conservative-minded folks would prefer to have someone in office who is going to push an agenda for a certain. The president right now, right, is going to push an agenda that is only going to be beneficial to certain groups. And what do those groups look like? It's fact. We're seeing it. His wealthy buddies. Those that are self-interested in keeping their power, their political position, their clout in the world, and definitely their financial pockets deep, and then those who are going to feed his ego and advance, just basically feed his ego and run with it.
So the rich are gonna vote for Trump, and we've seen a lot of fucking rappers. We Lil Wayne, Little Pump, aka Little Pimp. Trump called him, got the fucking name wrong. That was fucking pretty hilarious. You know what I mean? And that was just a kind of to me, that was just laughing at the dude that fucking actually co-signed his bullshit, and the dude gets his name fucking wrong, Little Pump, right? But it seemed like the rich are going to support the Republican. But not all the rich are supporting the Republican, because the Republican are talking about taxes, right? And when it comes to Democrats, it's talking about extending the taxes on the rich, right? So depending on what class you sit on, what part of the food chain you're on in regards to residuals, income coming into the household is gonna be like fuck ethics, being moral or having empathy and all that shit. Hey, this is my money, you ain't fucking with my money, so bam, we gotta go with Trump. Trump's gonna protect our money because he's a businessman. But then you have the middle class, you have the poor that need more assistance from the government, so they're gonna be like, all right, fuck it. We need the Obamacare. The Obamacare gives health assistance to lower class individuals without them having to come out the pocket. Like they're not, right? You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. So I mean, you look at it this way. It's about the accumulation of wealth and keeping that wealth. If you have, that's why you see Lil Wayne, 50 Cent supporting it. First off, the average person is not impacted by Biden's proposal. If you ain't making $400,000 or more, rest assured you ain't got nothing to worry about as far as your taxes being increased, right? I mean, I don't know how many of everyday citizens in America are worried about those who make $400,000 or more keeping more of their money, because we're getting taxed at the same rate. Through Trump, what I do know for a fact is I'm 41 years old, and in my entire life I have never owed taxes up until 2 years ago. That's when Trump's tax reform kicked in, and all of a sudden I'm owing several $100 a month, or excuse me, a year, instead of getting a return. That has never happened to me ever, and it's going to continue at this rate. Every 2 years there will be a tax increase under the current policy that has been implemented by Trump's administration. So it doesn't matter if you're making $5,000 or $50,000 or $400,000, your taxes will incrementally go up every 2 years based on this, and you'll see that whether you admit it or not, you'll see in your tax return. You ain't getting the return you were prior to that, but it is what it is. You get what you pay for, so to speak. Whoever you voted for, whoever's in the office, that's the direction we'll head.
Exactly. So whatever their ideology, whoever's ever in the office is going to implement what they believe needs to be, and if it works for you, it works for you. If it works against you, then it's going to work against you. I guess in all levels in life.
Definitely.
Oh, man, it's
and that's why you think Lil Wayne and 50 Cent jump on it. It's like, okay, I'm gonna get tax breaks. I'm on it. I'm a multi-millionaire. Of course I'm gonna jump on it because it's gonna benefit me if it's in your interest. And that's kind of going back to the socialist democratic view. It's the interest of those who are most impacted making the decisions and decentralizing what we have in place now. So the fact that you have the working class person has more say in how government services and policies are rolled out. Because if a person has more say, then it's going to benefit the greater good. And the more people that are bought into the system, then the likelihood that the policies are going to benefit them. Like if you have 10 rich folks creating a policy, who do you think they're going to gear that towards? They're going to gear it. It's going to be designed in a way that it's going to be written, first off, that people can not understand it unless you understand legalese, but it's ultimately going to be to their advantage. If I'm in power and I'm self-interested, I'm going to want to write policies that are going to benefit me or those that are sponsoring me, my funders. Not all the time you'll have folks that are going to do it for the greater good. So when you have folks that are really about system change for the greater good that's going to benefit everyone, then those that are wealthy are not about it. For example, let's use an example. So we have people. Why does Trump always talk about we're bringing jobs back to America, we're making America better, we're bringing industry businesses back, but then all his campaign swag, merchandise, his MAGA hats, all made in China? Why? Because, right? I mean, how you gonna say pro-America, everything, union this, but then when it comes to you and your self-interest, because you're getting a better deal overseas on the manufacture and production of your product, you can't deny it because we've all seen the merchandise and where it was manufactured. So when that happens, you're actually reducing jobs in America because those manufacturing jobs that could have been given here at a much higher rate than they're paying for them overseas are being lost by Americans because it's cheap labor. You're getting the product you want at a lower cost, whereas here the platform that we want to push is $15 minimum wage. Now you have folks who want jobs. We bring the union in play, right? We're both union. I'm SEIU 721, so we bring union into place and they protect the workers' interests. I mean, I don't need to preach to you. You know this. So what happens is if you shift back jobs to America, you can, through progressive platforms, you can create, if you have the power, you can create incentives for these multimillionaires to bring business back, lower whatever it is, taxes, or give them some type of financial assistance to put an industry somewhere in the United States, bring those jobs back, and then you outlaw certain practices. Like if you're an American, you need to have your products built in America by Americans. If that's how you really want to create economic stimulus in America for Americans, is don't do those overseas things unless you want to make it competitive. Now you reach out internationally and you go to a country and say, hey, we want to bring your company in, because you are providing the services, but we need to protect the labor, the workers out there that are some of your folks American. You need to pay a living wage, and that will create a competitive market for American ownership to bring the business back to the communities of America where they can produce products. Now, the challenge the concern with that is that it's going to mess with their pockets, right? If you bring the jobs back, that's less profit for them because now you got to pay quality wage, you got to give them good benefits, and then make sure their work environment is something that they would like to. It's a positive work environment, right?
I mean, opposed to another country where you have fucking women, men, and kids in a fucking sweatshop banging this shit out with no fucking type of insurance, no type of union structure and they're getting the bottom dollar for the shit. It's cheaper. The less they pay, the more they make. I mean, but Trump said, bro, that he's bringing back the jobs back to America, where the jobs, is a democratic way outsourcing these things. I mean,
no. Listen to what you just said. You said Trump says. He says a lot of things, but again, let's go back to that little example. He says built better in America, but what do his product labels say? I mean, let's just keep it at that fundamental.
So basically, he's just full of shit. You know, he's playing the businessman game.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go as far as to say he's full of shit. He's found the vulnerability, he's exploited it, and he's capitalizing on it. You can't be mad at him for doing that because we know that's what we're gonna get, and we're enabling it. So that's not shame on him. That's shame on us for letting it continue till January 20th.
And so according to Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, claims that Trump will remain in office come January. I mean, you know, just kind of diverting to that. I mean, how do you feel about that?
So in the political world, we call that rhetoric, and that's just political talk. That's just gas, smoke, right? Just talking. We have regulation in play that will prevent that from happening. I mean, what are they contingent on is recounting the votes, right? The votes are not accurate. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be going on. But let's think about it. These are all accusations. There's no substance, or where's the evidence at, right? Where's the evidence? But we do have evidence. You can't cry wolf after you've been the wolf. You know, so what we did see, and this is all facts, during the campaign is voter suppression, right? We did see the U.S., so Trump hired the Postmaster General, who is also a private business person who has an interest in courier services because he has his own company that does the same thing that the U.S. Postal Service does. So they delayed mail, right? They've closed polling places. They've did voter suppression by stating that absentee ballots, vote by mail ballots, right? The ones that are mailed out are not real. They shouldn't be counted. Things of that nature have gone a long way. They've actually removed mailboxes. That's a form of voter suppression. Some counties only had one voting drop-off location in an entire county. Imagine LA County having one place where you can take your ballot. That's voter suppression. This is 2020. Those are facts. Those are things that have happened to suppress the vote. Now,
because because a lot of Democrats were opposed to going in person, and they were worried about the COVID-19, so they would rather just mail it in or drop it off at a ballot box, which is basically no contact. No contact, right? You know?
Yeah, I mean,
so Trump did that he had control to do that.
So through it's through his medium, right? He has people in place. So he has department heads, like I said, the Postmaster General, that's the head of the Postal Service, the U.S. Mail Courier Service. So through him, just like his Attorney General, Barr, the chief law enforcement officer of the country who oversees the law enforcement piece of America. You have Pompeo, what is he, Secretary of State? He's the number one diplomat in relationships. A diplomat is the relationships between the U.S. and foreign countries, building up relationships for the betterment. But with this Postmaster General, he created delays in and getting the mail out, getting the ballots out. They've even had folks go to congressional or Senate hearings, lie under oath, saying things that were not. DeJoy, the Postmaster General, he lied under oath. We've had postal workers come out and say we found some fraudulent mail ballots, and then come to find out that they're Republican and this stuff is made up because it's all hearsay. There's no evidence. So all these things have happened. Were happening on Trump's watch by his direction, and so you can't actively do something. So the furtherance of not just talking about it, but actually creating some type of actionable steps to suppress votes versus hearsay is something entirely different than discounting or hiding votes or not counting the votes right. And a lot of why wasn't it a big issue in 2016 when all of the national intelligence agencies did say that Russia interfered with the election? Trump won, and he still was crying over it. He still was not a happy winner. He was a sore winner. He won. Just leave it as is, right?
And Hillary Clinton did she flex any of those? I think it was Al Gore versus Bush. Gore versus Bush. What is it?
The Florida, the recount of the votes. So I think it was
did Hillary Clinton press that?
No, she actually conceded. She bowed out and said she congratulated Trump on his victory because there's automatic follow-up. So once the election is done, certain states they have protocols to actually do recounts if the votes are really close. Like I think one of the closest one is 14,000. I think that's Arizona right now. Don't quote me on it because things change by the hour. But at some point, it was a small margin. But in Florida, when that happened, it was a couple of hundred votes. I mean, that's a big disparity in saying, all right, Lowell, I think you counted wrong. A couple of hundred, 200-300 versus 14,000.
It's a big difference.
It's a big difference.
It's a big difference. And even if that other 1,400, I mean 14,000, say the couple hundred that came that close, maybe, but that still wouldn't, even if he won those electoral votes, it still would have not put him to
the 270?
Surpassing the 270 or getting to the 270. I mean, I know our system is, I mean, corruption comes in all levels, you know. Could it possibly be that they did get the count wrong? You know, I mean, who are the people that are counting? Are they're county officials that are put in the position to count?
So, and with all fairness to people on both sides, right? Yeah, it could be human error. There could have been a miscount. So let's not say that. I'm not going to be super partisan and say no. There could not have been human error. There's human error in everything we do. This cigar you have here could have been produced wrong, and there's a flaw in it that doesn't make it as qualitative as this one here. There's going to be human error, and there more likely than not have been some miscounts, but it's not going to change the total vote for the state. So you have the popular vote versus the electoral vote, right? Two different things. To your question, so the protocol dictates that. You have government officials, government employees who actually do the count. They're a particular group of folks. And so to create fairness and neutrality, you have one Republican and one Democrat sitting together reviewing certain votes that are called into question. And like they may have a line through them or not been filled out. You good? They may not have been filled out accurately, or it may have been the document may have been signed and it's not clear. So it comes to those two folks to make a decision as to whether to admit that vote or to make a definitive declaration, a definitive answer on what the person's intent was. And if they can't agree on it, they'll bring in a third person to make that decision for the individual vote, whether it's valid or not, and what their intention was. So there are protocols in play. So these are the Secretary of States that that have jurisdiction, and then each county recorder's office has their own system of how they do this. Some count the election votes, the ones that are walk-in day of the election. So in this case, November 3rd, all the in-person voting may be counted first. Some states may do it the other way. That's what you're seeing where all these issues are coming or the drama's coming in, right? So they counted all the in-person votes, and then now they're counting the mail-in votes. And so you're going to see waves of different voting patterns because all the majority of folks who support Trump voted in person because that's what his request was, right? Vote in person. We want to show up in person. So when you have the mail following up, you're going to get blue votes, Democratic votes, and vice versa. Some states counted absentee, mail-in ballots, not absentee, mail-in ballots, and then counted the in-person vote. So it just depends on the state.
So back to something that we kind of you touched on a little bit, bro. There was you would think the rich want to get richer, so they're gonna vote for Trump as a Republican on the Republican Party, but there was a lot of middle class and people that I know personally that are on welfare that were voting Trump, Republican. Why would they be voting for Trump as a Republican when they're on welfare or they're you know what I mean? What do you have any?
What incentivizes them to do such a thing? I mean, just like you mentioned in the beginning of this podcast is lack of information, lack of understanding. They get caught up in the social media hype and pick a side like everyone else. I mean, I grew up in the system. I grew up on welfare. I was one of those recipients. I grew up when food stamps were the paper ones, right? So I don't know what others would do or why they voted for Trump per se, but I can only assume because of the influence that's what campaign dollars are for, right? People donate to campaigns so that the candidate can get their messaging, their platform out. And we don't really see much of messaging from many politicians. We just see, hey, this is me, and this is what that person is doing wrong, right? I'll fix that. But they're not really putting out there what they're doing. So that money is influencing it, whether it be something you get in an email, something you get on social media, a mailer you receive at your house, a television ad. It's going to influence you at some point, and then that's where this beef comes in, where people lose friendships over this, right? They're arguing, okay, I'm voting Trump. Why? You're on. Do you understand what the ramifications would be if this individual stays in office? Voting a certain way, yeah. I really don't know what to say about how someone would vote for it if they're on welfare. Like it does nothing to benefit them.
It does nothing to benefit them, huh?
I mean, look at this. The whole country was given a stimulus check, right? One stimulus check. That didn't help many folks, but it was look at the essence of that word stimulus, to stimulate it's a stimulant. If you drink coffee, there's caffeine in it. It stimulates you, right? It gets you charged up, gets you energized. The stimulus check was a good rollout. It should have continued where it was trickled up. So instead of trickled down, which we've done, right? And we give money to corporations like the bailouts, right? So like the farmer industry, the airline industry, the banking industry, those are socialist practices. Like you're giving it to the greater good of everyone for their benefit so they can sustain and be prosperous. But what we were seeing is a lot of those corporations were not doing trickle down economics, like increasing the salary of their employees or giving benefits to their consumers. But instead, we saw a lot of these corporations use those government bailouts to buy back stock for their corporation so they can have ownership of it. And the money went to the top, should have been trickled out. The money stood at the top, and that was it. So if you do trickle up with a stimulus, if you're only going to get a $1,200 check and you're not working, you best believe you're going to use that money to give back to the economy. You're going to pay your rent. You're going to buy food. You're going to buy whatever. It's going back to the economy. It's definitely not going to stay in your pocket. Coming from the working class.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, that's the contrast of I got off topic a little bit. Trickle up, trickle down. Just trying to be as organic as possible. But So I don't know if you heard of Andrew Yang. He was the Asian American who ran for United States president.
No.
So he has this UBI concept where it's universal basic income, where folks would receive I don't remember the exact amount. Maybe it's $1,200 a month or $1,000 a month or something like that for every month, right? So let's just say it is 1,000. I know it's not 1,000, but let's just use the $1,000 example. If we had a society where folks were given basic income of $1,000 on top of you working or whatever it is that you're doing, you're getting an additional supplemental income of $1,000 a month from the government. Could that have been used right now? Could people have used $1,000 a month over this pandemic if they're not employed? If we had that in play, would it have helped out? Could we have used that $1,200 stimulus check on a monthly basis? What was really $1,200 going to do for anybody?
Yeah, real
honestly.
shit. I mean, well, Trump said that the reason why he hasn't released the second stimulus package is because democratic states are asking for bailouts. So they're not only asking for money for the citizens of each individual states, but they're asking for bailouts, and so it's conflicting. The information that I get, and I may not be articulating this right, but it's influencing Donald Trump on not releasing it, because not only are they asking for the money for the citizens, but they're asking for all this other money to bail them out of their shit.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a language thing. It may not be bailout, so they're just funding, right? Funding for other industries like for school, for first responders, for different industries within the given state, right? They need funding to help support the state and all that it does. So because again, remember what you talked about, bipartisanship. It's coming together. Let's compromise. Dude, we need to get stuff out to the people. Why was it so quick to put some bailout money together for farmers? Because that was of some of Trump's base. And so because that one-time wave of money ran out, now you'll see a lot of them change their opinion of him because he has failed them. Just like the airline industry when they received the bailout. And it's not specific to this president. So I don't want to say like he's done it. It's happened in other administrations as well. But what it is that you have to be willing to compromise for the benefit of whether it just be the individual Americans or the state, because all states do get federal funding, but you can't, as the leader of the country, not certain groups of a country, of the entire country, you can't say, well, I'm going to help these states because they have a Republican governor in Florida, but I'm not going to help California because Gavin Newsom is a liberal Democrat. So I'm giving them money and you're not getting money. It doesn't work that way. It has to be allocated equally or equitably to different jurisdictions based on populations. There's a lot of factors that go into it, but it just doesn't work that way, man. Like you can't say I'm only giving it to certain folks, and you can't say, well, they're not willing. I don't want to negotiate with this person because it's going to be my way or nothing. That's not how politics works. That's where it's at because of the polarization. Got you.
Oh, man. I mean, at the end of the day, bro, sometimes I just feel like we're just a bunch of fucking monkeys in the cage. You know what I mean? You know, jumping up at the biggest fucking banana. You know what I mean? Like we're puppets on a fucking string, bro. You know, maybe it's just a uneducated, negative way of looking at it, bro. You know, and I come from in which you come from the same streets, bro. Of you know what I mean? How do I say it? Of a climate of who can we trust? Like, who do we trust? Like, can we trust? Like, no matter what, who's ever in office, like you said, they're gonna do what the fuck they want to do. Like, we got Biden, he's gonna come in. You know, we're gonna see if he lasts. He will last the 4 years, but we'll see if he gets reelected. Now, depending on what he does, he can be out 4 years, just like Trump is, you know, depending on what he does. And everybody that voted for Biden can now being like, all right, we got Trump out. Now let's get this dude out, you know? Yeah. I mean, do we need, when it comes to politics, so we had Trump come into politics. He's a reality TV star. He's a fucking billionaire that got passed down from generations to generations because his great-great-great-grandfathers were straight motherfucking hustlers from Germany, bro. And if it wasn't for them laying the foundation, he would have never gotten passed on that fucking silver platter with the silver spoon and all that other silver shit. We'll call it gold, you know what I mean? Fuck silver, we'll call it gold. But
it's who do we trust? How do we know we're picking the right folks? Things of that nature, right?
I mean, obviously, bro, like the elections, the electoral, the votes and everything, it really it came down the middle. It was close in a lot of areas. Like, I mean, 14,000 people difference in a voting scale is not big when it comes to the United States of fucking America and shit, bro. Because we got fucking, I don't know how many millions of people we have occupying this country, but that tells you that the fucking shit is split, bro.
It just depends where you're at. I mean, look at California. Biden received over 2/3. So I don't know what the official count is today, but last time that I checked was 2 days ago, and Biden had over 3 million votes, and Trump had 1 million. So 2 to 1, 3 million to 1 million. That's a big difference, that just tells you where California's at, right?
Yeah.
It may not be. If Florida was the opposite, it wasn't by millions, but 3 million to 1 million. That's a statement, and so. What I can say is that people really, whether you're non-political or you're limited in understanding, you need to level up and get some level of understanding as a person who is not interested in politics, because they're gonna impact what you do. Now, I would advise taking out the like my party side, and what I feel is do your homework on people that are running for office. See what they're about and see if their messaging resonates with you. If their platform or their beliefs align with what you're about, that's who you should be voting for. Let me give you one example. So if I were running for office right now, one of the things we see that is big is, and we'll use a city, for example, city of Laverne. Police brutality is a hot button issue right now, my man. Like, you see all these lawsuits going out, right? And so I'm not sure if you know, but do you know who bears the brunt of the cost when law enforcement officers or agencies, departments are sued for battery on a citizen, the brutality? Who pays those costs?
The government does, right?
The government, in fact, pays those costs, but it's the taxpayer that bears the burden of it, because we're funders of the government as the American public.
Yeah, so we're funding these police union on getting their shit right, and then this shit's happening. So that's when we talk about defunding the police, because the taxes we're paying for them to have a job and to do their job right is, as we see in social media and TMZ and everything else, is not being upheld to a fucking common standard, then we scream defund the police. But at the same time, as a taxpayer, we're paying these motherfuckers to do their job, right? I mean,
so
I don't mean to be all over the place.
No. It's not just for the record, for the folks. It's not the union, it's the department, right? So it's the government. So we're not saying that. But
they have a union. They have a
union, and that's the thing. The union protects everyone's interest, which they have a right to. They have strong union representation. That's why it's negotiated in their contract that they are they're immune to liability for this, right? So, like I said, if I were running for office, let me tell you what my platform would be. To represent the public's interest, because I don't want to pay for a cop beating up a 14-year-old kid $2 million. They have the kid should be paid, but it shouldn't come out from my tax contribution, because I work hard. I think here is the shift, and this is where the progressive shift that you'll see. What if we promoted a policy that would not allow law enforcement to be protected and lawsuits paid by the city, but instead we put the liability and the onus on the unions, where if there's a lawsuit, then we tap into your retirement or your pension. Best believe they'll dial down that police brutality, right? Because now you're messing with their pockets. And when you mess with someone's money, it's going to correct their behavior. So again, that would be a policy shift where if I were running, I would say, like, if I was running for a city council position, I would say, well, my job is to protect the interests of the public, and it's a double-edged sword, because part of that protection of the public interest is safety, right? Safety is paramount.
So you're working with the police at the same time,
Yeah.
which can put a target on your back low key in regards to the peers that are around you. Like, hold on, bro, we're the ones protecting you going in and out of these motherfucking meetings and whatever you want to call it. And now you fucking like the double-edged sword, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
you
got to try to find a balance in the system. So sometimes even Democrats balance it as well in their favor. At the same time, being a Democrat and you quote unquote, you're supposed to be there for the public, right?
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, definitely. So, like, you're exactly right. So there's a lot of factors that go into making a sound decision that are going to benefit the public at large. So, coming from the same culture, we don't call the cops for what we need. You know, people get beat up, people get robbed. You're not going to call the cops, but you have family members that you want the police to be there for. If someone's robbing your home, you're not home, and your family member called you and said, "Hey, I've been robbed. Call the cops." You know, or someone's here suspicious. Call the cops. You want to have that safety, but at the same time, those who wear the badge feel empowered and immune to a lawsuit or consequences for their actions, because they know, well, charge it to the game. The city's gonna pay it. It's coming out from the taxpayer. I don't even live in this city. I just work here. But it's something that we haven't done yet. Well, let's negotiate with these unions and make the union liable for the lawsuit. I'm sure it will deter excessive behavior from law enforcement if you put the onus and the reparations on, not reparations, the fit law enforcement the bill by cutting into their pensions, right? Cutting into their retirement. And you say, hey, well, that's a little extreme. Well, how do we know? We haven't tried. You have to try it to see if it works. And if it doesn't work, then we go back to the drawing board. But you can't fit the bill on public. So in this situation, you're still protecting the public's interest, and keeping the money where it should be, keeping government going, so there can be these other resources. The defunding of the police, for example, and it's not, so police defunding is just a buzzword. It's a catchphrase. That's really not what it is. What it is what defunding really means is reallocation of funding. So you have a budget, right? Your $1 million budget is going to the police department for the year, and that's a small budget, $1 million, because you have X amount of cops or street patrol officers, then you got the administration and whatnot. So what if we reduce the budget but not services, right? So you may see officers' pay rate go down a little bit, and you see officers getting paid fat. I mean, starting wage for LAPD is like $90,000 to $100,000.
Damn.
With no college education.
Yeah, nothing. No fucking community service in the community, getting along to know the community. No type of fucking education in regards to dealing with a person in distress. I mean, I noticed that in California they have a task force going out there that aren't, I don't know if they're not real police officers, but a task force going out to things that are like domestic disputes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I heard about them doing that, and I think that, I don't know if that's an effect, or I don't know if I'm interpreting that correctly, but I'm have you heard a little bit of that?
Yeah. There's a couple of models. So I know for a fact in the city of Long Beach, they have this hybrid type of officer who has a college degree, and it's usually a social worker background, right? A MSW, or just a bachelor's in social work, maybe a master's in social work, where they have that social skill. They may have a clinical understanding of people with mental illness and how to deal with them, because oftentimes you'll deal with people with mental illness, whether they're experiencing homelessness or not. But they're law enforcement, they're peace officers, they're post-certified cops. So they're wearing two hats, but they're getting paid one wage.
Yeah.
So now you have that educational piece, which gives them higher value, right? Their worth is more. So you're paying them more because and these are pilot programs that are coming out. Long Beach has been doing it for a couple of years now, where they have these folks that are formally trained as peace officers, and they're more able to de-escalate situations. And then you have what you're talking about, the teams where you have law enforcement coming out, partnering with outreach workers or social workers together to defuse situations. Someone with a clinical background, someone who is better equipped than a cop to handle a situation that doesn't necessarily require a cop, but for everyone's safety, right? The cop may be there. So that's what we talk about defunding. We're not taking away from law enforcement. We're repurposing it. We're bringing in social workers, or instead of dealing with those who have drug addiction problems, we're putting not rehab centers, but organizations in the community that will help people work through their addiction, as opposed to just throwing them in, incarcerating them.
100%. So check it out. Let's pause this real quick. I need to step out and grab something real quick. But what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna do live call-ins. Okay. I don't know if we'll get any call-ins, but if you have my personal phone number, you can call in through that. If you can call in through Instagram, or you can call in through Messenger on Facebook, which is Lucky Sun Zoo on Facebook. You know what I mean? So give me 2 minutes, and we're gonna do some call-ins right now. Give me 1 second, real quick.
No problem.
Yeah. Grab some. I usually do, I'm usually a hard liquor type of dude. You know, this is always my downtime. Some people are like, look, you shouldn't drink so much during the podcast, but this is my downtime from school. This is my downtime from work. But anyways, I usually don't drink beer, but being the fact that I have to work tomorrow.
Yeah, you want to go too hard?
I don't want to go too hard. I want to be cool. You know, I want to be somewhat focused, but at the same time, I want to have a good time, because I know a lot of my a lot of the Goonies out there right now are fucking are having themselves a drink. It's Veterans Day, and I can't get this motherfucker. God damn it, that motherfucker was on there tough. But anyways, the homie's not drinking right now because he's got, it's Veterans Day. He's got shit to do with his fam bam after this, so we're not gonna hit him with the fucking hood stocks, get you fucked up effect. But any callers that want to call in right now, you guys can get some calls in. I see a lot of people on here. Let me see what we got right here. I'm so excited I get near this guy. Savage Realist, no, I don't understand. Tell me. Okay, these dudes are having a conversation within themselves.
Okay.
Let's see. Anybody that wants to call in, you can call in through Instagram, or you can call in through Messenger on Facebook and shit. Any callers, please feel free to call in. Little Mark, I see. What's the number? Call in through Instagram. If you got me on Instagram at Lucky Sun Zoo, or if you have call in through Messenger on Facebook, Lucky Sun Zoo. And I'm sure you guys, if you've been watching, you guys know what it is. But yeah, call in. I see a lot of people ask him if unions and insurance companies have ruined California.
Oh, that's the question?
You got one. That's coming from Little Mark.
All right, Little Mark. Have unions and insurance companies ruined California? That's a very vague question. I would say unions do the opposite. They represent people. I'm actually a steward for my shop. So my agency that I work for, we represent the interests and ensure sound working conditions, a positive place for employees. If you're busting your ass in manual labor, you want to have some assurances, right? You want to have some benefits, whether it be health benefits, 401k. You want to get paid a decent wage, right? And if worst comes to worst, if you're fired or they attempt to fire you, then you will get free legal counsel to represent you in arbitration. to make sure it was just. So those are just some of the union benefits. There's a lot that goes into working with a union. As far as insurances, I'm not sure what we're talking about here. Are we talking about auto insurance? Are we talking about health insurance or homeowners insurance?
I would say health insurance, right?
Yeah, I think that.
I mean, Trump was taking away the Obamacare. I mean, and
completely.
Yeah, completely taking away Obamacare, and Obamacare basically takes care of people that can't afford health insurance. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah,
to a degree, yeah.
Yeah, to a degree. And so, what was Trump? What did Trump have for us? And for the people that I won't say, for the common individual that does, not the common, but certain individuals, certain class that can't afford health insurance. I mean, what was Trump offering them?
So that's the thing where you talked about the person on welfare voting for Trump, right? Because whatever the reason is, people you personally know, I know folks like that too. So more likely than not, that or those individuals.
Hold on.
You got a call?
Hello. Hold on real quick. Let me see.
Yeah.
Hello. All right, we can't hear you. I don't know what happened. Hold on real quick. Let me take that off. Let me see. We did have a caller coming in right now. I know who the caller is, too. Let me see if I can
try to get him back.
Let me see if I can get him back on mine. Let me see. How do you do this shit?
Yeah, so while we're waiting, I'll just keep the conversation flowing. So, short answer is I don't know what Trump is offering. I haven't seen anything.
Let's see. Hello. Okay, hey, call on my number. You have my number. Call my number. Hey, Midway 209. Thank you for the $19.99. Thank you for everyone else that supported too. Creek, Long Beach. Lucky is lost. When it comes to topics like that, I am lost. I'll be the first one to admit. I am far. I'm lost, and that's why we having this right here. I am lost. You know what I mean? Hey, Lucky, it's the Illuminati trying to, but their agenda. The union ninja moves. Unions have the same political bullshit within them as our government. They call it a brotherhood, and you still paying. 100%. They got a lot of that. Hold on, real quick. Let me see. Here we go, right here. Hello. Let me see. Hold on. Here we go. Hello. You're live on Hoodstocks.
Hello?
Yes, you are live on Hoodstocks. Who do we got?
Jennifer.
What's up, Jennifer? How are you doing this lovely Veterans Day? What was your life? My co-host.
It's great. Your co-host. I just got a question. Is it just me, or does it seem like Trump has quit working so he doesn't get fired?
I mean,
because he's not working on the second stimulus package. Mitch McConnell says we're going to do it in the Congress without Trump. So does it seem to me that he's quitting before he gets fired? Or what's going down with him?
I mean, we've heard a lot of crickets since the election day, right? So I think his ego is a little bit wounded. We haven't seen him. In fact, Saturday he was out golfing, right? And kind of just downplaying this situation. What he did that y'all may not know is since yesterday and today, you got to pay attention because he's fired several of his cabinet or department heads, and he's replaced them with his personal friends in those positions of power who are definitely not qualified. So he's making silent moves right now that may have a grave consequence on America over the next few weeks. So we have to wait and see how that plays out. But what he's doing is he's positioning himself silently by putting folks in figurehead positions to do his bidding. And if it's negative, then his hands are clean because it wasn't him. It was his extensions doing it.
Exactly. That's what I figured.
Yeah.
All right, just asking. Thanks.
Hey,
you say have a great day.
Hey, you too. Thank you so much for your call. Send Smiley my love. I love you guys.
I
Have a good
will.
one. Yes.
We love you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, that was our first caller.
All right.
Yeah, moving forward. I seen some shit I wanted to say right here. Shout out to all the Southsider homies upstate. I seen one that it's called Assets versus Liabilities. If you live in California, it's not all Mexican illegals, but all breeds. Let me see right here what we got going on right here. Hold on, shit. Your show went down. Now it's saying technical difficulties. No, the show's still up. Let me see real quick. Hold on real quick. One second, guys.
I see they put he only fired Mike Epner. You might want to check on that. The person who put that there, Ed. You might want to check that. There's been some breaking news today. Other people have been replaced.
Randy Jenkins, I see you in some heated conversations right here. You are welcome to call in, my G. You know what I mean? To say whatever you want to say. You know, it's all good. You know, this isn't a open discussion. This is not. I mean, I don't. When it comes to Democrats and Republicans, you know what I mean? I'm a hood stockican. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like fuck, man. These politics. You know what I mean? Politics. One thing I learned growing up in the neighborhood is, I mean, politics is not always fair. It's not always right. But sometimes it is what it is. And maybe when we have control, a little bit of control of what it is in regards to who's in position, then we're going to place our vote. I mean, when it comes to the vote, I mean, I was a 40-year-old dude asking a 20-year-old fucking kid, what's the difference between the popular vote and the electoral vote? Because Hillary Clinton won the popular vote, but she still lost
The electoral.
Yeah, she lost the electoral. But how do you win the popular vote and lose the electoral vote?
That's what kind of shit is that, right? It's like getting fired on your day off, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a good question. So, the electoral vote it was written within the Constitution, and so I don't want to give a whole history lesson on it, but the origin of voting is for the electoral. So, here's how it is in modern day, and and again the historical piece to it. There's some racism involved in there with being the owners of slaves and whatnot. So. What it is now is that this is a nutshell, if you win the popular vote for that state, you win all their electoral votes. And what does that really mean, right? So let's just use California since we're in California. We can use another state if you like, but in California, there are, I believe, 53 congressional seats, right? So there's 53 districts. The state is broken up into 53 districts, and then you have the 2 state senators. And so that's a total of 55. So whoever wins the popular vote, right? So California, Biden won the popular vote by a 2-to-1 margin. So 3 million to 1 million, and some change or whatever that looks like. He won, so he gets the electoral, all 55 electoral votes. It's not a percentage based on how many popular votes you get. So it's basically California's worth 55 votes. Another state may be worth a different amount because they have less representatives.
And what determines? Hold on, let me do something right here real quick. Let me do something real quick right here. So when it comes to the electoral votes, it's hold on, let me do this.
Yep.
When it comes to the electoral votes, let me do this. Real quick. Hold on, sorry guys. So when it comes to the electoral votes, it depends on how many senators are in that state, and what dictates how many how many senators each state gets.
So for United States senators, the state doesn't. It's even across all states. So it's 2 per state in all 50 states. So there's 100 senators. And then in the United States, there are 435 congressional districts in total.
Check it out. I'm going to do this for you guys right now.
Damn, drop it, huh?
That's the call-in number. Call that number right now and speak your piece. I hear a lot of cats, the feds blocking. I see a lot of people right now saying that they're, what's the number? How can I call in? They're not able to call in through the Instagram or the Facebook. So there it is right there. Call in right now and speak your motherfucking piece right now. Speak your piece. Breaking news has also been proof of voter fraud in a few states. I mean, when it comes to breaking news and shit, I noticed when it comes, like Trump talks a lot about fake news, and I watch CNN and they are very anti-Trump on CNN, bro. Yeah. So Republicans can't even watch CNN because obviously it's a Democratic fucking platform, I mean, shouldn't these platforms be fucking like in the middle, bro? Fucking, what's the word for it?
The spectrum?
Yeah, they should be
the balance.
They should be in the middle. They should be neutral about shit.
Yeah, so different networks have a little bit of different audience they're trying to cater to, right? Just like Hoodstock. So you have to look at several sources. For example, on the other end of that, you have Fox News, right? Which a lot of folks feel is an extension of Trump and just supporting what he says. So there are other Associated Press, there are MSNBC, different networks. You can't just tap into one station and expect to get the truth from one station. It's you're presented with information and it's on you to take from it what you want and what you believe and how you feel.
Okay, so check it out. It says it keeps freezing. Is this really freezing right now? Are we good? I mean, it's telling us that we good right here on my end. You know what I mean?
I'm freezing, look.
He's frozen. Okay, let's see. It's making me open some of these comments right here now. Why doesn't it work? My phone fucked up. I have 3 different phones. First, there you go. There we go. It does work. What up? You want a Hood Stocks? Who we got here? Wait, hold on. Okay. What up? You want a Hood Stocks? Who we got?
Randy Jenkins.
Randy Jenkins. What's up, my G? I see you on that chat line, Randy. And it's hard. I'm trying to listen to the homie speak right here, and at the same time, it's an open dialogue. So I try to look at the comments, bro. But I see you going back and forth with some of these cats on the chat line. Talk to me, my G.
Yeah, I don't know. It all got started talking about Trump being a millionaire or not. And this guy keeps on asking me questions and questions, saying he's got all the facts, won't send me a link to back up anything he's got. And that's about it. Where all that was going. I don't understand your opinion about the kids in cages thing. Trump's the one who got him out of that. That was Obama. Yeah, I know you weren't upset about it in 2014. Now you're going to the rallies. Trump got rid of that. Why don't you believe that, Lux?
No, so check it out. It's not that. So what's funny is what you bring up, brother. Thank you for your question. Thank you for calling, bro. And it's all respect right here, bro. We are not. I mean, maybe sometimes I don't have all the facts, bro.
And I'd like to say, I love the podcast, and you're dope.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. So let me tell you this, Randy. It's funny you bring that up because I was just reading an article. So a lot of people didn't know that Obama did start the cages for the kids being illegal, but it was supposedly what I read, it was supposed to be a very minimal time in regards to, it wasn't to keep the kids from their family, it was just to kind of like separate process them. Exactly. Thank you, brother. To process them. But what I heard is when Trump came into office, I was reading this, bro. I mean, a couple of days ago, my G, that he was that he was pushing the agenda, and he was really separating these kids from their family and misusing the system that Obama had created.
Long term.
Well, the article you read probably had a spin But something of that is a lot of those kids are being brought in and being sold to coyotes. They aren't even with their real parents. They're doing DNA tests, and like I believe the number was 70 weren't even with the people that they said were their parents. Because Obama said, come with the kid and you get into America no matter what. So that's why they're all doing it. There's reports from Central America, we're in their newspapers. They say, come with a kid, you get in, you'll get a $2,000 gift card.
Damn, sound like
There's
extra
Candace
fees to the
Owens
club.
went down to these detention centers. They have Zumba classes, unlimited snacks, soccer fields, and that's while their parents are going through their case. You know, that foster care ain't that good. If you got busted and your kids got separated, they'd be in a way worse situation than those immigrant kids who have no claim to here. They have no claim to America. I understand their country's not as good as ours, but when they come, America's going to turn into us. How come Huntington Park used to be a beautiful city in 1920 when it was mostly white? Now look at it. I don't get it. I'm not saying Mexican people are bad. I just don't understand. When it was white, it was so nice. Now it's Mexican, it's so bad. Echo Park, same thing. I just don't get it.
So, Randy, man, bro, it's so this country,
always the white people's fault.
this country was founded on indigenous people, my G. You know this
You
country.
say that,
It was. It's
but
just
it
it's a
wasn't
fact,
the
bro.
Spanish came here. You guys didn't found anything. If you guys didn't found America, you guys founded the Aztec civilization where 10,000 people got slaughtered a day.
But California was a part of Mexico once upon a time, and before Christopher
That
Columbus.
was once upon a time. This is America now. You guys need to get over that. In my opinion,
No,
come on,
no.
you're on the past. Just like the gang thing.
That's history, bro.
This
That's
is our
history, and
barrio
history is
now.
foundation,
This is our
brother.
barrio. We took over your hood now. Just like you would respect that on some gang shit. That's what happened with you guys.
They got overpowered and motherfuckers took over the shit. They weren't strong
And
enough.
now
You're
that's-
saying.
Yeah, now it's white people's problem forever. And we have a better civilization now. All the
We have a better
industrialization and everything.
We have a better civilization as us together because white people do not work all spectrums of the workforce,
Yeah.
brother. You know,
That is America.
so we
Love thy
we
neighbor.
create
That was
create a
practiced
balance.
Nowhere else. That was practiced nowhere else. So here, get along. The Aztecs, all you guys did was conquer each other and take slaves. I mean, so how come it's
And
bad
that's what
when
the
whites did it?
but bro, check it out. So you're talking to a dude that is a Mexican Jew, bro. You know what I mean? So the way I try to look at it, bro, is I try to look at it on both sense of views, bro. And I'm really trying not to take you as a racist person.
You understand where I'm coming from at all? Or?
I understand where you're coming from, bro, because I can look at both sides of the fucking spectrum, bro. But at the same time, when you speak this rhetoric, bro, it can tend to be looked at as
rhetoric. Everything I said was a fact.
It's a fact to a certain point, bro. Like this is native land right here, bro. You know,
But it's not. It's America. Why? But it's not native anymore. At one point it was. Why do you guys just hang on to that so much? That's what I don't get, Lucky.
because history creates this democracy. History creates the foundation of the world, the
American
earth,
history,
everything.
not Aztec, not the Mexica, the Mexica culture.
The
It was a
Mexica.
brutal. The Mexica was a brutal machismo. Conquering culture.
But you can look at it as
America,
you can look
love
at
thy
that.
neighbor,
You can look
melting
at
pot.
you can look at it as the white side too, bro. That they were the same fucking way, bro. You know,
Because we wanted them to believe in Jesus.
no, because you
And
wanted
for
them to
for
bow
them
down to the
to bring up.
you wanted them to bow down to the Western fucking beliefs and their ideology and take them from what they believed in, their native fucking culture, bro. You know, you're stripping them of their fucking rights and who they are as an individual, and you're saying, you know what, I'm here now, and this is what you need to believe in, and if you don't believe in that, then we're gonna slaughter your whole fucking nation, bro. What if you were not born white? How would you feel?
Well,
What if you were
the
black?
same thing
Do you
happened
look at-
when the
Do you look at both sides
on.
of the spectrum? You know, do you have empathy?
I mean, yeah, I do. Well, that's what I said I did agree that wasn't right. But why are we held up on it so much? That was hundreds of years ago.
Because to this day, there's still police brutality on certain colors, bro. That's why we're still hung up on that, because the thing hasn't changed.
Killed than anyone else.
Because you guys are the majority. Because
per capita, look into it.
Per capita, you are the majority, bro.
I know, no, I'm saying per capita brutality.
Then you should feel the way we're feeling then. If you lie on that spectrum, but obviously you don't. You haven't experienced those things.
Lucky. Hey, Lucky.
Yeah, go ahead, bro. Go ahead, my G. Talk to me.
Born in Montebello, as you guys like to say. Montebello in mind. Southside Montebello. Lived there 15 years. I grew up with you guys.
So then you should understand it a little bit, bro. You should be a little more, be more empathetic about it.
I sort of lost my train of thought. That's where I was going. I've been stopped for walking down the street. I've been in county so many times for doing nothing. You know what I mean? I've been harassed. I've been thrown up against the car. So I don't have no white privilege. I mean, it was just, I was hanging around drug users and thugs, and just like you said, that's
so you understand it then.
She got tattoos and a bald head. But that's what I'm saying. It's not race. It's like if they think you're a thug, it's not, because it could even happen to me. So that proves it's not race.
No, it happens to you, bro. But you're the small percentage that has happened to as a white man in America, bro. Because per capita, you want to talk about per capita, it happens to more black and brown, my G. I'm not trying to change what you feel and how you feel. This is an open platform, bro. I'm not gonna fucking who bang on you, bro. That's not who I am. I'm not a cell soldier, bro. You called in. Thank you for calling in, my G. You spoke your piece. This is a fucking open conversation, bro. I'm not saying I'm right, you're wrong, bro, because everybody has the right to share their perspective in the matter. And that's when it comes down to it, bro. It's just like you shared what you feel. There's other people that share what they feel, bro. And so we got to find a middle ground that we can all stand on and be happy with, bro. That's all. I agree. That's all I'm saying, bro. Like you grew raised in the hood, Montebello, bro. You know what I mean? You that white homie dog that's cool as fuck, dog. And he got the
wood from the hood.
The wood from the hood. There we go. The wood from the hood. Hey, bro, check it out, dog. Randy, thank you for calling in, bro. I appreciate it.
Are we ever gonna? One more question.
Yeah.
Are we ever gonna be able to get past of this conqueror thing? And that was the Spanish. That wasn't even the white Europeans from Norway and everything. We're always just going to be wrong and never going to be able to be forgiven. We got the smallpox from Asians. The Asians gave the smallpox to white. Look into that too.
And we got COVID from fucking China. Check it out. Let me ask you something, Randy.
We got COVID from Obama.
Well, how did we get COVID
and Fauci and the Wuhan? Because they set up the Wuhan lab. Look into it. They funded it.
Okay. I mean, that's beyond.
Look into that. Hey,
that's beyond.
You need to check out Infowars.com and the Gateway Pundit. They're going to say it's a conspiracy. I see your homie laughing or whatever. Oh, Infowars. It's legit, dude.
Hey, let me ask you, Randy, we know your nationality. I mean, you're white, right? You're the wood from the hood, but where do your ancestors, where do they come from?
I'm German, Italian, and Welsh.
There it is there, my G. You know what I mean? There it is there, bro. That's it right there, bro.
And,
you're a native of this land too, my G. Say that again?
When my ancestors came over, they were discriminated against too.
Exactly,
bro. The Italians, everyone.
Exactly.
And then if I could go on something about Ellis Island, about what's the difference between people coming today and the immigrants coming now, is that if you had any criminal record, you got sent back the same day. The population wasn't like it is now, and our ancestors weren't able to get welfare. George Soros wasn't giving out $2,000 gift cards. We didn't have all these NGOs saying, "Oh, you guys are the poor migrants, and we need to take care of you." they came here with $6 to their name and made it happen.
Exactly.
Learned the language and assimilated. That's my big thing.
And we're all
It seems
trying
a
to
lot of
assimilate,
Central
my G.
Americans- but
To this
no, but
day,
it
we're
seems
still
that
trying to
Central Americans,
assimilate.
But how long does it take? There's guys living in Mexican, Central Americans living in LA for 30 years, still don't even speak English at all, don't even try.
But
You go to MacArthur Park,
but
you
they're
think you're in
cooking you
Mexico, not America.
but they're cooking you a good meal.
Tacos.
You love tacos,
Yeah,
don't
but
you?
we don't need.
You want a white dude
tacos
cook?
on
Do
every
you want
street
a white dude cooking you tacos, bro?
What was the first part?
Do you want a white dude cooking you tacos?
No.
Do you love Mexican women?
No,
I mean, are
no.
they pretty? Are they beautiful pieces to look at? You know what I mean? Of
Yeah,
course.
I love Latinas, and they love
And
me.
we just gotta respect the culture, bro. We gotta respect each other's point of views. Just like
well,
I'm gonna
I'm
respect
saying-
your point of view right here.
But I just feel like it's right now in society and everything. It's just open season on white people. The knockout game.
I don't feel like
come
that.
up and hit.
I don't feel like that.
To come up and knock out old white people. Well, that's how I do, really.
I don't feel like that, but you know what I mean. If Trump is taking away Obamacare that helps white individuals that can't afford health care, I mean that's not taking them out. I mean,
but lucky Obamacare raised all the rates and made healthcare go up. Trump's lowering the prices for the first time ever. They went down this year, not by much, like he said, but he's going to get the prices down. And we're not being sold out to China. I know you're a laborer. I'm a roofer.
there it is.
They
There.
want to sell us all out. They want to sell us all out to China. Trump's fighting for the blue collar man in jobs, whereas the Dems aren't.
So how do you feel
At
about?
all.
Let me ask Dr. Anthony Felix Jr. what he thinks about that.
As far as what? What do you ask me a question?
No. What he was talking about right now. He said that Trump is trying to lower the insurance, and Obamacare is hiring the insurance. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah. So definitely.
Obamacare is just pork for health providers.
So what's up, Randy? This is Anthony here. I was actually born at Beverly Hospital in Montebello, so we may have crossed paths at some point, you know. Let me keep this conversation advancing forward. So yesterday, the Supreme Court heard arguments from both sides of the issue on Obamacare, with the objective of the administration's position was to strike down Obamacare through oral arguments that were heard yesterday. So Trump was successful. Prior to Trump, there was a mandate for people to pay. I don't remember the cost, but if you were not covered, you needed to pay a penalty fee annually. So Trump was successful in removing that fee for those who didn't have insurance and didn't want to get insurance. And based on that alone, the arguments yesterday was reason enough to strike down the whole Obamacare. Now, quickly, I believe that everything is a work in progress. So Obamacare is not going to be 100% effective and the best product on the market out the gate, right? So we take what works from there and then we build on it. We can point out the flaws in anything, but Trump administration should be in a position to point those flaws out and propose recommendations to improve on what the foundation is.
You know what? Sergio, thank you, brother. I misspoke earlier, and I said that his ancestors were natives here. No, Randy's ancestors aren't natives here. They're actually, now American
Immigrants
citizens.
just like you guys.
Yeah, immigrants no, not immigrants just like us, bro, because we were here before your.
Well, if you were in Central America, this is North America. So the Aztec territory.
California
went all the way up to Canada.
California was a part of Mexico, and the other states were a part of Mexico too. Texas was for some point in time.
Keyword was.
You know exactly, bro. But
So that's what I want to go back to. So it's never going to get over. We're always
Randy,
on stolen land.
I got a quick question for you.
That's just it.
Randy.
Well, can I get my question answered first?
Yeah, go ahead. My bad.
Go ahead. And what was the question again? I'm sorry, Don.
So we're always just here on stolen land. We're always just invaders.
I mean, that's just the way of the world, bro. You know what I mean? Alexander the Great, bro, he invaded fucking Persia, bro, and he took over all of fucking Persia and fucking...
Well, how come he's not told he's bad every day?
Because he's not around no more. You know, but I'm sure in that part of the country, I mean, they probably have, when it comes to their politics...
Lucky, can I ask you another question?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
How is this wrong with you, though? You're better off than living if the Aztecs were rolling things. So I don't understand what the big butthurt's about.
There's not a butthurt. There's not a butthurt.
But it is. You could say that, but it is when you keep on saying I'm not native and I'm an invader. There has to be some hard feelings then for you to say that. Well, and we're not just all kumbaya.
When it comes to racism, it always boils down to history, right? You know, we look at the history and we're like, how are you gonna this happened in history, or we were here before you. I mean, this is a complex conversation, bro. You know, and I'm not saying, like I said once again, I'm not saying I'm right, you're wrong, bro. I mean, this conversation could go on forever, but at the end of the day, I preach equality. Right? Like what you get, I should be able to get, and vice versa, regardless of you being Randy, the wood from the hood, Lucky, the mixed breed from the hood, whatever you want to call it. It shouldn't be the color of the skin in regards to how we get treated by the cops, even though you've dealt with your situations with the police officers, you know. It should just be equality, bro. That's all I look at it. Everything should be equal. I mean, all this red, this blue gang banging that we see on the political fucking structure and shit is just crazy to me. You know what I mean? Let's just do what's good for fucking all of us. You know what I mean? If you can't afford fucking healthcare, you know what I mean? Let's get you some healthcare.
Even before Obama, nobody went untreated, Lucky. That's why America is the best. The poorest people in America have AC, cable, watching the internet right now. Jordan's on their feet.
Yeah, no, for sure.
If the Aztecs were running things, I don't think it would be like that.
No, but I'm not saying the Aztecs should be running things, bro. You know what I mean? I'm just saying what
I know,
so you're saying that. Yeah, you're saying
here.
that. I mean, that's for you to make that type of case. I'm saying the Aztecs, they were into pyramids and they had about 100 different gods to run things this day and age, bro, doesn't make sense in my mind, bro. You know what I mean? I mean, I get you're trying to make a case, but I feel like the case is you're not presenting it the way
you're not happy the Spanish came and we have America and Mexico's built up the way it is today.
Fuck the Spanish, bro. Fuck the Spaniards. The Spaniards came in and they invaded, bro, and they fucking slaughtered and they fucking killed a lot of people's ancestors, bro. They didn't kill your ancestors, but if they killed you, but if they killed your
two-sided war,
if they killed your, I get it, bro. You know, for there to be war, it's always two sides, bro. It's not only a one-sided war, you know what I mean? I get the two-sided war, and one wins and one doesn't win, but just because
Montezuma was killed by his own people, and the Spaniards were allies with everybody except the Aztecs, I believe.
Montezuma was killed by fucking Cortez and shit, bro. You know what I mean?
No, he was killed by Aztecs, Buck. You should know that.
Who was Montezuma killed by?
They raided against him because he was siding with the Spanish. And they didn't like that.
No, exactly. No, you're absolutely right. Let me correct myself, my boy. You're absolutely right. But the Spaniards were there, bro. And Montezuma's brother said, don't ever let another man with that type of power into your house. He fucked up and he let fucking Cortez in his house after he fucking conquered all these people. But I get it though, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah, so they turned on him.
So why is this Spanish so bad? So to me, not to be offensive, it just sounds like your butt hurts that you guys lost. You're saying everything's fair and equal. Yeah, that's what happened.
Check it out, bro.
I think we're going down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, we're going down a rabbit hole, bro. But check it out, bro. If me and you were in a fucking, if me and you were in a fucking boxing ring, bro, and I got the best of you, or say, let's reflip it. You got the best of me, bro. You know what I mean? Nobody is ever happy in the realm of defeat. You know, so yeah, there is always going to be a little bit of animosity, bro. You know,
perfect analogy. But after defeat, we would go up to the middle of the ring, shake and hug, and say, "Good fight. The better man won today."
Yeah, but you want your run backs. I don't want my run backs. But we want some runbacks and shit.
We'll try to overthrow the country then, I guess. I don't know. Raise a militia.
So check it out.
And see if you can do better.
Randy, so obviously you're a Trump supporter, and it sounds like when we talk about
100% to the bone till the day I die.
So check it out, bro. So it sounds like you're a little butthurt right now.
Over what?
Over him
I am
losing.
butthurt. They're stealing. Yeah, and I can't seem to make common ground with you guys. We're always just the bad guys and the Spanish
because you lost. Because you lost. So you feel like you can't get common grounds now.
Thanks for admitting that. Okay, well now I never understood that point of view before till now.
No, now you're being sarcastic, but I get it.
No, I honestly wasn't. No, I wasn't.
Okay, so we know what it feels like to be butthurt about something. You know, and you might carry this with you.
We can agree on that.
Yeah, you might carry this with you through your life about this time, you know, and it may affect the way you move and the way you teach your kids to move from this point on, from generation to generation. And then you'll know how the natives felt, how the people that used to how the Mexicans, when they had California and they had other states, felt when they lost their fucking shit. I mean, there's never no fucking happiness in defeat, bro. You know what I mean? Randy, I mean, I'm not trying to have the last word in this, bro, but thank you for calling, bro.
All right, hey, sure. Thanks for having me on.
Hey,
call back in sometimes.
The wood from the hood, baby. The wood from the hood, baby. Everybody give it up for Randy.
All right, look.
That was a hard conversation for me to have right now, bro. You know what I mean? I don't even know if I fucking did that shit right, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I really wanted to be like fucking, hold on, Rosa.
Stick to your guns.
What up, G? Hold on. Let me see if I can flip this over. Hold on. Hey, call the number, bro. Do you see the number I put up?
No, what's the number?
It's right at the top.
It's right at the top. I pinned it to the top, bro. All the way to the top. It's pinned to the top, my G.
What? You can't hear me? What?
No, I can. You're just not on my. You're not on my line, bro. You know what I mean? You're not. You're not on my line. I'm trying to. You're not. You're not on the. You're not on my board. But if you call the number, bro. You're not. You're not on my.
Popping up on my screen. Oh, okay, yeah.
All right, call it. We got another guy right here. There you go. This is dope, bro. This is good. This is good. This is good. I like this.
He's stretched out now, warmed up. Hey, there's gonna be some blows flung, but I mean, he was talking about we're butthurt, so it's like let's move on to more modern times. Why are they flying the Confederate flag? They lost. Are they butthurt? You know, why? How can you be How can you fly a swastika flag, a Nazi flag, and the Confederate flag? Both of them took the losses last time that I checked, 1865 and 1945, right?
Yeah, here we go. Right here. Hold on. He's calling from Fresno. Let's see. All right, hold on real quick, bro. All right, you're live on Hood Stocks. Who we got?
Hey, what's up, man? This is.
Hey, turn off the
Hey, what's up, man? I'm one of your loyal fans right here, man. Cheeto Bandido right here in Fresno, Cali.
Hell yeah! Shout out to Fresno. Hey, Cheeto, turn down the volume in the background because it's bleeding. It's bleeding to this right now.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah. Fresno.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Well, shout out to Fresno right now. We got Fresno in the building. We got Cheeto. What is it? Cheeto what?
Cheeto Bandido.
Cheeto Bandido, baby. Let's go. What you got to say, my G?
Yup. What's up, man? Yeah, I've been watching your podcast for a long time, man. You know what I mean? I respect what you do out there in LA, man.
Thank you, brother, and I appreciate you supporting supporting the podcast, bro. You know what I mean? Without you guys, I mean, we ain't shit right here, bro. You know, so thank you, brother.
Cool. Yeah, I wanted to call in, man, because I've been a long time civil rights organizer.
against a lot of stuff, but police brutality specifically, Native rights. That's, I study Native history and Chicano studies in college and stuff out here. So I kind of wanted to call in some of the things that we're spoken about right now.
Yeah, for sure. Let's hear it, bro.
Cool. All right. Well, one of the things that came up for me, man, is like the earlier caller was talking about, getting messed with by police and all that. As a white man and stuff, and I just wanted to point out that a lot of folks that bring that up forget the aspect that, like, it's not just about race, it's also about class. So if you're a white person and you live in a working class community where cops are already, where the neighborhood is already over policed, then you might come in contact with that as well and have a lot of negative police interaction too that a lot of white folks don't think about.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, the white man compared to melanated skin color can tend to deal with different difficulties when it comes to the police, right? Yeah, I get that for sure, dog. But I mean, Randy feels that he's the percentage that has dealt with police, and he feels that, hey, it's just a fucking equal thing. And not only you guys are getting fucked with, I'm getting fucked with too, but not all white men are getting treated. I mean, you have to be a black person or a brown colored person to really understand the dynamics of it. I mean, some white people that have been through the system, they're like, nah, it's the same shit. It's like, nah, bro, you're just the fuck up of the fucking white community and shit. You know what I mean? And you caught a piece of our shit, because I mean, when they took away slavery, when they took away slavery, the way they countered that is a lot of these states, they were pissed about that shit. They were pissed about slavery being taken away, bro, because these individuals wanted to own slaves. It was when you took away slavery, you were taking away money from them. You know what I mean? Because they were getting basically free fucking labor from these individuals. And so what these states would do, what a lot of these states would do, is they had these prisons, and that's when you heard about the chain gang. Because the chain gang was put back on the plantation to do this job for free now. So now that they found a way to beat the system of slavery, they opened up these prisons, and so they started mass incarceration of blacks, colored people, to put them in the prison system and say, hey, you know what? You broke the law, so bam, back to slavery, homie. You know what I mean? You're gonna pay for your shit by fucking working this farm, by picking this cotton, by fucking making these fucking PIA fucking prison shoes, by doing this and that, And so they found a way to beat the system. I mean, it's hard for me to hear. Like, I want to keep it. I want to keep it neutral, but it's hard for me. I understand where Randy's coming from, but in order for Randy to really understand the situation, maybe in his next life, Randy will be born as a black man, and it will give him a whole different perspective as a black man, because you know what I'm saying, bro.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah. Hey, man, one thing I wanted to touch on too is, like, the Aztecs got brought up again, and I mean several times in your conversation. And one thing, me being a Native Studies historian and stuff like that, that's one thing that white folks really cling to, and they say like they found the civilization that was most warlike, and say this represents all Indian people, all Native people. When the reality is that was tons of natives that were completely peaceful, that had no weapons of war, that had no standing military, that went generations and generations and generations with no violent conflicts with neighboring tribes. So, people tend to forget that part of it.
Yeah, most definitely, bro. I mean, they tend to forget that part about it. And I mean, when it came to that that time in history, you know what I mean? Like the natives, they had spears, they had fucking bow and arrows, you know, and these Europeans came through with fucking automatic fucking weapons. It's like taking a gun to a knife fight. Like, no how, no way are you gonna fucking beat that shit. I mean, if you want to talk about like Randy was talking about being butthurt, it's like, bro, like, you know what I mean? You had to cheat me to beat me, you know? But I get it when it comes to war. I mean, there's no rules, you know what I mean? If you're not up to date on what the fuck's, you know, on the tactics, the war tactics, the weaponry, etc., 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 you know what I mean? Yeah, you're gonna catch the short end of the stick, but at the same time, regardless of who won the fight, who won the war, who won the battle, who claimed the fucking land, there's still gonna be individuals, native individuals, natives across this land, Hispanic, Indian, whatever you want to call it, bro, you know, indigenous people, that are going to feel some sort of way. Like they expect equal rights. Hey, I was here before you. You know, history is such a fucking huge thing. And I'm glad that I started this podcast because it made me look further into history to understand what the fuck is going on right here. You know what I mean? Now, when it comes to history, I sit on a fucking fence because I have a history that's European and I have a history that's fucking indigenous. Indigenous.
Yeah.
European, bro. You know what I mean? I'm a fucking European fucking Jew, bro. And my mom is fucking Mexican, bro. Like, God really put a number on me. But this is a melting pot. This is America. This is LA, bro. You know what I mean? Now we need to fucking learn to fucking deal with this shit. Now we need a president. We need a president in the office that understands the dynamics of the fucking cultures and what it fucking is. You know what I mean? And it obviously wasn't Trump because he lost. Now we're gonna find out if it's Biden. And if Biden doesn't fucking abide by the standards of how we feel and what it should be, then he's gonna be out in fucking 4 years along with fucking old Kamala motherfucking Harris. You know, it is what it is. And some people say we gotta trust the process. I don't know if we're gonna trust the process, but we're gonna watch the process. And if the process ain't right, the American people are gonna speak like they just spoke on this past fucking election.
Yeah. Hey, one thing I was gonna mention too, man, is like there's this mythology that you know that white folks came here and worked hard and were prosperous because of that, man. And like I heard your last caller say that, and a lot of people forget, like, you know, the Dawes Act and how much land grants were given to white folks. You know, hundreds, many times thousands of acres, large contracts and money grants were given to exclusively to white people to build that foundation on. So a lot of this, you know, it's a myth when they say, hey, I came and worked here, my family came and worked hard, and that's how we became billionaires. That's not the full story in most cases.
I mean, they worked hard on stolen land. You know, they worked hard on stolen land.
Like, I live here in the Central Valley, and we got millionaire ag people here, and most of them were given all this free fucking land that were taken from natives and given to them. So, like, you know what I mean? That's why I say that part, you know, that the myth of that, hey, they're hard overachievers because they work so hard. Well, nah. If you're given a shitload of stuff, then that's not necessarily, you know what I mean?
And I get that, bro. I get that, and you know, it's a double-edged sword because I mean, natives were given land too. They were given parts. Indigenous people were given parts of land where they were able to build casinos and whatnot. And maybe I don't know the percentage balance in regards to how much was given to who, you know. But at the end of the day, I know who.
Well, even that's a misnomer because it wasn't given. Like, you know, we had to fight for it, and we were just keeping what's ours. It wasn't necessarily given to us.
Yeah, no doubt. No, they try to take it 100%. They try to take it, and after many court hearings, many this and that, bro, finally the individuals that took the land said, all right, we'll give this back to you. We'll give X amount back to you. Be happy. And shut up. There you go.
There's also this fake narrative or this, you know, false narrative that's put out that, like, hey, you know what? Why are you still butthurt? The war's over. The war's over. Like, you lost. Like, I mean, as someone who's as a native warrior and been in this movement to take back land, you know what I mean? If you look at the last 40, 50 years, native people rising up, we've taken back millions of acres of land by force, through lawsuits, through land occupation, through forced evictions of non-native people from tribal lands, through all different types of tactics that we've forcefully taken back our land. So this, to us that are on the front lines, like, this war is not over. We're still in the middle of it.
100%. I mean, it feels like we're always going to be in the middle of whatever war is going on. I mean, if it's not this war, it's going to be another war, bro. Like, it's just, the government, the system has us all on a string, and they determine how long that string is going to be, sort of like a leash. You know what I mean? You know, who knows what next is going to be publicized in the media of what we should worry about, what we should think about, what we should be mad about, what we should be happy about. I mean, it's media, bro. You know what I mean? That's controlling us. You know, and one thing I don't ever want hood stocks to do is to control anybody. I want everybody, like Randy, like Cheeto, the bandito, to call up and to express how they feel, bro. You know what I mean? Because this is an open platform. This is an open conversation. This isn't Republican. This isn't Democratic. This is just real motherfuckers working a 9 to 5, living a real life with basically the same fucking struggles, bro. So, like, how can we coexist with whatever is being presented to us, bro, is the challenge, right?
Yep. Hey, man, also what I wanted to mention is that, you know, your last caller mentioned that, like, oh, you know, the immigrants we had to Ellis Island were so much different because they were, you know, law-abiding citizens and all that. Like, I just wanted to scratch that off the top. You know what? There's tons of times where England and a lot of other countries cleaned out their prisons by sending them to the U.S., by sending them to other colonies they had in Australia and Jamaica, a lot of places. So we got flooded with their prisoners. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, most definitely. Hey, my G, thank you so much for calling, dog. Hey, everybody give it up for Cheeto the Bandito out of Fresno. Fresno, stand the fuck up.
Yep. Tag me on there, man.
Got you, bro. I got you, dog. Thank you, dog. We got another caller right here. I think this caller's from Texas right here. Let's go. You good with the callers, bro?
I'm good with it.
Yeah, I need you to speak on some of this shit, bro.
Okay.
You
coming head to head on you, huh?
Yeah.
Hello?
Hey, what up, bro? You were just calling in a Hood Stocks podcast. You're live. What up, my G?
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, man, I just want to say, man, this race thing, I mean, we're all from this new world, right? If everybody would take those DNA tests, everyone would see that we all got European, we all got Native American, African, we got all that shit. So it seems more like a divide and conquer tactic by the people on top.
So that who's on the call? Who's on the call?
This is Vinny, man. Vinny from Dallas.
Oh, what's up, Vinny? This
Dallas,
is Anthony.
Texas. What up?
Big D
Yeah,
in the
what's
house,
up,
huh?
Texas. Texas
So,
is a big time Republican state, no?
Yeah. Well, it almost flipped, but where we're at now. So yeah, thanks for the call. So I think that where we're at now is okay. We're going to the historical aspect, and it seems like that's where we're at in this conversation. But it's 2020. Where we're at now, we need to use what's happened in the past, historical context and content, to advance us in the future. And in order to do that, we need to take the lessons learned. And so we have a melting pot, as Lucky said, of folks in the United States. It's everything here, especially in Los Angeles. I know Dallas is very similar, where there's just all ethnic groups coexisting, right? That's all we want to do is coexist. So where we're at now is in relation to the political climate is what do we do now, right? To advance everyone's interests, equity and equality. How do we give that to everyone? Well, we're not pointing the finger at anyone. Well, this happened and that happened and you're the bad guy and well, you did this. No, miss me with that. Let's use what we had and let's progress. So we need to propose ideas that are going to advance us for us to do better. If we knew better, we do better. So the only way we do that is to connect with each other, to hear our narratives, how you feel, because if Randy's saying something a certain way, if Tito the Bandito is saying something a certain way, and Lucky's saying something a certain way, we all may be missing the end game. We all may have the same objective, but because we're caught up in the argument about how we're going to do it, how does the saying go? There's too many chiefs and not enough Indians, right? So we need to move away or sidestep the distraction, the smoke and mirrors, and talk about what's really at hand. The issue that we want to see fixed, and what is the best way to go about to fix it.
Yeah, they need to take the magnifying glass out of us Latinos and blacks, because right now, if you look closely, you're gonna find something wrong with any group or class of people. But I think like these industrial jail, I don't know how to say it, but
the industrial prison complex you're talking about. Yeah,
that for profit, that needs to go, because justice. You mix justice with capitalism. You're just locking people up to make money.
Yeah.
The pipeline, right? The prison pipeline.
Who supports the prison systems more, the Republicans or the Democrats?
And just like anything else, it's a lucrative business. Right now, it's for profit. You hire these private companies to run the prisons, federal prisons and whatnot. In the state, it's the state controlled, so they're getting free labor, producing whatever product or helping out. Like those that are in the fire camps, right? They're California state prisoners. They're helping fight fires, so California's getting free labor.
I fought fires in the prison system.
Right.
18 years old, out of Susanville State Prison. I was fighting fucking major fires in California, bro. You know what I mean?
Was there a difference?
Go ahead. Hey man, y'all keep your head up, man. Keep doing your thing, man.
Hey,
I love your show. I gotta go, man. But
all right, brother.
Keep doing your thing, love.
Hey, everybody, give it up for Texas. Hell yeah! Thank you, brother. Hold on, we got another caller right here.
Yep.
Here we go.
Randy set it off, huh?
Randy set it off, dog. Randy spoke his piece, dog. Shout out to the wood from the hood, Montebello. Stand up. You know what I mean? I ain't mad at Randy. You know what I mean? Randy got a.
Hello.
Yo, what's up? Are you live on Hood Stocks? I had a missed call from you. I'm calling you back, my G.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, maybe not. He hung up. He called and then he hung up. You know what I mean? But yeah, this is when it comes to politics, you know what I mean? It's such a heated conversation. It's like a fucking it's like a family that's having a dysfunctional fucking thing, you know, like a family as an Americans, you know what I mean? And everybody is just at each other's throat. Like, why? It feels more now than ever. You know what I mean? That people have been at each other's throat in regards to politics. You got these cats that never really fucking gave their point of view on politics, and now they're just fucking mad at they're pissed the fuck off, and that's on both sides, bro.
Yep. So what do we do, right? Where do we go from here? How do we guide that conversation? It's about people. You can't please everybody all the time. So you gotta not pick a side, but do what's going to appease or help out the most people, whatever the issue is. We're talking about police brutality, the BLM movement, right? Rights for all, equal rights for the LGBTQ community. There's a lot of things. Health care for all, coverage for all that, right? How do we? We can't make class, race, ethnicity. Well, we can make financial status a piece of the conversation because of the wealth, right? So we can't create divisiveness and stall our progress by pointing out the differences in ethnic groups because it doesn't advance the conversation of what we want to do. There you go.
Here we go. We got someone. Looks like it's hold on real quick right here. You're live on Hood Stocks. What's happening?
Yo, what's good, man? I just tuned into you guys. I had an issue on YouTube, and you guys were buffering for like a half hour, and I was waiting for the content to come up, and it just did. And I'm digging the show, man. I'm a Bodie from Brooklyn, and I got some input for the show.
Shout out to my Boricuas, homie, from Brooklyn. Much love, respect. What's your name, my G?
Yeah, Miguel.
Hey, my boy, thank you. Shout out to the East Coast. East Coast fucking with Hood Stock strong, you know what I mean? I love you.
Man, all day.
I love you,
Yo,
man.
Listen.
Yeah.
Can I give you my input right now?
Shoot it.
Okay. The thing is, I hear you guys discussing how we can, improve ourselves, la raza, nuestra gente, and everybody, brothers, everybody. But you can make it too overcomplicated sometimes. And I have a podcast, it's the Alpha Male Buddhist from Brooklyn podcast. I'll just put that out there for positive content for my people. But you need to get a skill and find out, are you a talking person? So you do some sales. Are you a computer guy? Are you good with your hands? Get a skill that you can do tangibly and build on that shit. Because once you have success in one area, you can build on that in all other areas. You have to learn how to learn.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
And I hear people all day, they're like, I don't get the opportunity and I don't get the chance. Whatever the case may be, that's well and good, but you're not going to get anywhere if you don't start building from a seed. You know what I mean? From the smallest point that you can come on. Like I said, you have to realize quickly what you're good at and go from there. Like I talk to brothers or whatever, they're like, yo, they ain't nothing out here, whatever. I'm like, I just got out, all that stuff. And I'm like, well, yo, are you good with your hand? Are you a work with your hands type? Are you a talking type? Creative? What do you do? I have a rule of 3. Find out what your passion is. See if you're good at that passion and can you get paid for it. If that third one, if you can't get paid, find a new passion.
100%. And so after you find, like what you're saying, my G out of Brooklyn, when you find what you're good at, like you said, are you good with your hands? Are you good with your mind? So after you find what you're good at, then you can find possibly, does it direct your political views on where you stand?
Well, yeah, the politics in a sense, I kind of put politics to the side because politics don't feed my family directly. Indirectly, yes, but directly it doesn't. I got to get up in the morning and make that cheddar, you know what I'm saying? Make that chicken. And so, yeah, it's a thing of hard work, man. You got to get up in the morning and you got to invest in yourself. You got the internet, you got YouTube, you have all of these resources that's available for everyone. And you just, myself and my shit is talking, sales, and computers and programming. I use Microsoft Access, which is a simple database. You can really learn a lot, man, and you can teach yourself right on YouTube. I mean, I've had a decent career. I can't complain, but it's all been hard work, man. My pops died when I was 6, and my mom, she had issues and all that, welfare, downtown Brooklyn, the whole shit. But I worked hard, man. When computers came out, I was on that shit, and it changed my life.
Yeah, no,
I found my passion young, and I built on it.
Hey, shout out to you, my G. Shout out to you for elevating yourself, dog. Hey, big ups to the homie Boricua right here from Brooklyn. Let me ask you a question, bro. Who did you vote for?
Yeah. You know what, man? Honestly, whoever you're going to vote for is going to be the same thing. Biden, honestly, man, that dude is one of the biggest racists ever to walk the earth, man. So that kind of answers your question.
I mean, so yeah, so check it out. Let's speak on that, bro. Since we have you on the line, bro, we're blessed to have you on the line, my G. You know what I mean? That's been a huge discussion in the politic realm in regards to Biden saying that they're holding him to these type of accusations, but none of that has been upheld in a court of law. Like, I mean, in the hood, bro, I mean, there will be accusations put out just to fucking just to belittle the individual, bro. But if you've never been upheld in charges to that accusation, then what does it make it, bro? Is it factual?
Here's the fact. He passed that legislation to what was that whole thing? To if you get caught with a crack rock, you get the whole 10 years. But if you get he passed that, and that's like some mad racist shit. And the timing on that is when you guys just discussed the privatized prisons, okay? So they will, and actually the gangster rap was lined up with that right around 1991, man, so that they can have 90% capacity of the privatized prisons, which is all people, right?
Yeah.
So he's the man that wrote that legislation. What is he talking about?
Yeah.
Name one thing he's done for all people. One thing.
Well, Boricua, before we get into that, I think what you're saying is valid. Like I said in the beginning of this podcast, Biden wasn't my first choice either.
Touching kids and shit on video, touching kids. Come on.
Is he touching kids, bro?
I mean,
Hello, you mean? If he touched your daughter like that, what would you do?
So
No, that's it. There we go.
That's a no.
I mean, bro,
logical,
yeah. If you're asking me a straight up question, bro, if anyone touches my motherfucking daughter, bro, you know what I mean? I'm not even gonna use my hands, bro. Like this motherfucker needs
there
to.
you go.
But on a side note, what did you just say? Look at YouTube. YouTube is not a credible source. YouTube, anyone can post anything. So if we have a credible source to legitimize it, that's when it's truth, right? Because a lot of folks are saying the news is not legitimate, but what is a credible source? In this case, if there was some allegations of him touching kids, so some parents allowed it, why didn't they go to the law enforcement agency, file a report?
He's sniffing kids, man.
Sniffing kids? I mean, that's an accusation.
You
I
compare
don't know.
one source to another. You got to, and I agree with what you're saying. You can't just take things out of context. But you got to compare one source to another. Do your research. Talk to your people. Like I said, I'm a podcast man. This is what I do. Not as a profession, but yeah, I'm pretty good at it, and I have a good show.
Plug your show real quick, bro. Plug your show.
Okay, Alpha Male Buddhist from Brooklyn podcast.
I'm gonna follow you, bro. I'm gonna comment on this thing when it's over with, bro, so I can follow you because I wanna check your shit out, dog, and maybe I like
just sub to you. I'll just sub to you, yeah. And I got some comments up on here, but yeah. Do you have your email on your YouTube thing? If I click.
Get at me on the Instagram. DM me on the Instagram, bro, because I like to fuck with you, dog. You know what I mean? Because I support the podcast community from the East Coast to the West Coast, my G. And check it out. You know, so I was thinking about this, bro. You bring this up, bro, in regards, because there's so many memes. There's so much stuff on social media, and social media can really curve how you should feel about shit. You know what I mean? And it's not always necessarily, you know what I mean, the way you should really think. You know what I mean? But sometimes it's entertainment, and sometimes it's funny. In this case, it's not funny, bro. You know what I mean? So I look at it like this. I was thinking about this, my G. I'm glad you brought this up. I was thinking about this, and I was like, you know what? This is, how old is this dude? 78? 78-year-old man?
Something like that.
78-year-old man, something like that. Like this is a grandpa, bro.
Weekend at Bernie's, bro.
Bro, this is a grandpa. I mean, you know, if we like, I mean, I give friends of mine. I'm a 43-year-old man. Friends of mine, like I have friends that have kids. And I see him and I love him and I'll give him a kiss sometimes. But if I was running for a political, maybe if I was running for a political fucking president of the United States of America, and someone took a picture of me giving a kiss to my homie's fucking kids, bro, they'd be like, "This fool's a perv," you know what I mean? Like, bro, am I really a perv, or am I just like a dude that just like loves? I mean, just showing genuine love to innocent family member, a kid or whatnot. I mean, shit can get taken out of context, bro. I don't know what to believe. I don't know what's in his head, bro.
In our culture, you know, you come to a family or whatever, you see the mom or the wife, you kiss, man. It's out of respect. So it's not a matter of just, you know, talking to the kid or whatever like that, or giving the kid. It's not that. I mean, when you go past that, you know. But here's the one thing I do want to add, because I would love for my people to hear this from. Find out, like when you find out what you're good at, look at people that are actually doing what you want to do. You know, if you're into computers, find out guys that are into, and use them as what they call a model, as a role model, and get multiple role models that can influence you, okay? If we need to build ourselves up, because I'm telling you, man, shit it's not going to get better, man. It's going to get a lot worse. And if we stay sitting here watching twerk videos and that shit, my people, man, everybody's susceptible to them. Yo, that's why I put my information out there, because, like I said, I got so much love for everybody, and we gotta, you know, we all in the same boat. Even poor white people, everybody today. We gotta build, man. The key word is build and work hard, because out of the only thing that's gonna get you an improvement in your life is you facing resistance and overcoming the resistance.
100%, dog. 100%, dog. Hey, everybody give it up for Boricua out of Brooklyn, New York, East Coast. Stand up, dog. Give your podcast one more time, bro. While we
Okay. Thank
ahead.
you, brother. Alpha Male Buddhist from Brooklyn podcast.
So that's
And it's like a lion with inside of a Buddhist.
Yeah,
Alpha Male Buddhist.
Alpha Male Buddhist. Everybody give this dude a follow. Subscribe to his channel. Thank you for calling in, my G. Love for the East Coast.
Thank you,
Love
brother.
for Brooklyn. Thank you, my G.
Love for the West Coast, my brother.
Most
Later.
definitely.
Bye.
Thank you, bro. All right, we out.
Okay, brother. Bye.
Solid dude, building up the community. I think he's talking about paying it forward, investing in folks, or helping them find a path forward to build themselves up, right? Instead of making excuses of, I can't do this, I can't do that because of, the challenges, the roadblocks ahead of me. But he's actually inspirational and talking about, well, here's a roadmap. It may not be the best roadmap, but it's something tangible with his philosophy for people to work towards, or maybe that's the lane for them. If you can connect your passion to getting paid, then there you go. It's a right fit.
100%, Doug. I mean, we need, at the end of the day, we need to protect our household. And how do we protect our household? We have to, regardless of what politics are being pushed, what agenda is being pushed, we need to push our personal agenda in the middle class, in the whatever class you are, you know what I mean? But I'll speak on the middle class because I'm the middle class, you know what I mean? We need to push our agenda in regards to educating ourselves and elevating ourselves to a certain pay rate that we have no fucking worries in regards to who the fuck's in office.
Yep.
Who the fuck, who's on fire? All right, whatever. I'm still getting that motherfucking paycheck, baby. You know what I mean?
Unfadeable.
Unfadeable, bro. You know what I mean?
Unless it's that liquid fade, right?
Unfadeable, bro. You want to be unfucking fadeable. You know what I mean? You want to be, I worked for this, and if you work for that, you're going to get that. I mean, you know that what's at the end of the fucking road. Like me, I'm a 4th-year apprentice in the Electrical Union, IBEW, Local 11, I have one more year, and I journey out, And it's funny because I've been telling my coworkers lately it's because when motherfuckers think they're going to journey out, that's when their career really starts because there's the top pay, and they're fucking moving forward. Right. I've been telling my coworkers, you know what? I'm gonna journey out, bro, and that's when I'm gonna retire from doing this because I accomplished that, and I'm gonna move on to something else. Now that might be a funny thing to say, and I don't know how true that's gonna be, but honestly, that's where I'm at right now. When I journey out, bam, I'm out the motherfucking electrical fucking union. I'll pay my dues. I work the little bit of hours to keep the benefits coming in and shit, you know what I mean? But I'm on to something else and shit, you know what I mean? I'm on something else. Why? Because, and I personally don't want to slave to a company that as soon as you get hurt, you ain't shit no more. But when you were fucking jumping to every single thing, every single work hour, every single overtime, every single thing they asked you to do, you know what I mean? You were there to do it like a fucking monkey, like a fucking robot, like a fucking puppet on fucking strings. I don't want to be that dude. Why? Because in my DNA, I need to be an entrepreneur. I need to do a podcast. I need to make money in other ways. Why? Because that makes me happy. You know what I mean? It doesn't make me happy to be controlled by a fucking corporate entity that dictates when I should move and how high I should jump and is evaluating my fucking work fucking ethic. But that's the way of the world, if you like it or not. That's the way of the fucking world. You know what I mean? That's the way of the world. But you know what I mean? Time will tell on where I stand and where I move forward. But at this point, I retire in 1 year, and that's when I journey out as a fucking IBW Local 11 electrician. You know what I mean?
Hey, that's props right there. Let's give you a shout out. Let's give you a shout out for that. So let's talk about the other side of that, right? We talk about being unfadeable. The Brooklyn Boricua brought up a good point, success, right? So the politics don't impact him directly. What about those on the other side of the coin, the dichotomy, the other side where it's you, for example, you got a single mom with 2 kids who has to work in a job where she's making $10 an hour. There's no alternative for her. She just can't. There are those that need that help. What about those folks? Do they get left behind? How do we help them? We can say connect your passion with your pay, with your wallet, and then there you are. But it may not be a reality for a lot of people out there. What do we do in that situation?
Yeah, so not everybody's made possibly like other individuals where I can say that what I'm saying right now. What about the people that that are dealing with mental issues, that are dealing with they weren't raised in the proper environments, and their education is way low. They can't afford the fucking Panamera fucking Porsche. I want a Panamera Porsche. I said, when this podcast blows up, I said, babe, I'm gonna buy you a car, and after I buy you a car, I'm gonna buy a Panamera Porsche. I want a Porsche, a 4-door, you know what I mean? So I can put my kids in the back, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna get the Boxer with the 2-door because I can't put my kids in the back. I gotta take the kids with me, and we enjoy this ride together, you know what I mean? But what about the people, the less fortunate people? And when it comes to the less fortunate people, the Democratic movement is in their best interest opposed to a Republican movement.
It's just creating a level playing field. I mean, there's some Republicans out there that feel, they're doing the work to improve the quality of life, right? Improve the quality of life for the American people. But again, you have those who have a glass ceiling, and it's just not tangible for them to actually, all right, they're not that focused. They're not grinding to get that next status in life because they can't. You have those, what if someone has, just lived in service job or worked in service jobs their whole career. Now they wake up one day and they're 60 and they have whatever disabilities, they're limited, right? Their work options are less. So what do? Do you just throw them to the side and then dispose of them? Or should there be something in play to assist them because of the choices they made have put them in this position? Now they can't do anything progressive to get to that next level,
Yeah. I mean, 100%. It's got to be like you said, a level playing field where everybody can get some type of assistance in regards to what class they lie on. I mean, I wanted to have this podcast.
Yeah.
To have some type of clarity. I mean, a conversation is everything. Randy, the homie Boricua,
Dallas,
Cheeto the Bandito. Hold on, we got another one right here. Hold on. You're live on Hood Stocks. Talk to me.
What's up, Lucky?
What up, G?
Hey, man. What's up, dude? You got another white dude from the hood right here.
Okay, let's go.
All right, man. Conceived at a place called The Hole. Baptized at St. Ignatius Church. You know that place, right?
You talking about Highland Park, my boy?
That's where I'm from. Hey,
what's your name, bro? Do we know each other?
My name is Jason. Nah, man. I go way back. I'm a little older.
Okay, go ahead.
My name is Jason Sweeney, man, and I got a few questions. I don't give a fuck about any of these people. Trump, Biden, Kamala, fuck them all. But Trump, he did do some good things, man. The medical insurance, that penalty you had to pay if you didn't have insurance, he got that shit wiped out, dude. That was pretty dope. You go without a job for a couple months, don't have insurance, check it out. That fool waived that shit. That was bomb. Kamala, this lady, dude, she was throwing parents in jail if your kids weren't going to school, if they were truant and shit. Doctor, can you speak on that a little bit? Is that true?
Throwing kids in jail, that's not...
No, the parents.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, my bad. So that's not her call to say what local jurisdictions do. She is the officer of this. She was the officer of the state of California, right? She was the attorney general. Her policies in that role didn't align with me either. So that was my biggest hurdle in even accepting her. Is her role as an authoritative figure. She was counterproductive to progress in creating change in a positive way. She incarcerated a lot of folks inappropriately. Used the prison system to generate low to zero cost products, right? So that was a hard pill for me to swallow, and it may be that role was not the role that was a best suit for her. She may be better fitted for a role as a vice president. So if it turns out that she's not, then in 4 years, hey, even me as a Democrat will hold her accountable and say, well, she's not the choice. Like she wasn't my choice, but for me, it was the current status of the office. But I don't want to stray too far from what we're talking about here is in California and how she handled it.
Right.
I think
Well-
she was not in the interest of the people. I felt that role that she was performing in could have been done a lot better. It's just she was elected at the point the Californian people spoke, and that's who they selected as the Attorney General, and we got what we got. So she moved on, and she has performed better as a senator than she has as an Attorney General. But that past haunted her for a while.
Right. So another thing to touch on about her and the Democratic Party, and I mean, I think they're both, man. What are you gonna say? The politicians, man. Politicians, right?
Right.
I think enough said. I mean, Kamala Harris. I know there's so much division and shit in this country with the racism and that. I don't want to get into that shit too much,
Right.
but with the Democratic Party, all the madness with BLM. Kamala Harris is not African American. Do you think that she was selected to be vice president with the myth to kind of deceive the American people and get that black vote?
I don't think they did that to mislead people. I believe, and I wholeheartedly believe this, and I may be gullible or naive for believing it. I believe that 2020 is a time where now the landscape needs to change, and to put a person of color in that position, not only a person of color but a female, right? So that's a whole separate kind of worms, is putting a woman.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
So and that's just speaking from the layperson's perspective. It's not kind of fooling people so they can get office. It's to create diversity, because if again, up until Obama, everyone either in the president's role or the vice president's role has been exclusively Caucasian, right? To some degree, the white man. You look at the pictures, but now this diversity creates the diversity that she brings to the table creates vision that is outside of what Biden can do, right? He has blinders on because his perspective or his lens is limited to what he's experienced and what he's seen. She brings a whole different dynamic from growing up in the Bay Area, through her legal education, trials and tribulations she's faced climbing the ranks as a woman. And so I don't think there's anything being fronted or trying to dupe people. I do believe her dynamic will only increase or give Biden a more holistic view as to what factors to take into account when making a decision that can impact minorities, people of color, and even the majority of the Caucasians. So you're governing the American people, not people of color. But the other part of that is if I'm a campaign manager managing Biden, it's good optics to have someone, because they made history, right? A person of color, first person of color as a vice president. Now you have the second husband, right? The second man, or whatever you want to call him, second dude. Her husband, he's of Jewish descent, and now, he's a Jewish white man. So now, you strategically do that because now your base opens up in that sense, and I think that's what you're discussing. So it's a strategic part to maybe get some buy-in, because now you have people of color saying, "Well, I believe in Harris, and so she's going to be a representative
I
of
hate
me."
to cut you off. My phone's breaking up. I hate to cut you off, but I just want to make one last quick point. I appreciate your perspective, by the way, man. That was enlightening for me. Hey, Lucky, dude, keep up the good work, bro. Got a killer fucking podcast going right now.
Thank you, brother.
Keep it rolling.
I
Keep it
appreciate
moving forward, man. It's dope.
I
Love
appreciate
it. Love
you.
it.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate your support, and thank you for calling in.
I'd like to get both of your perspectives on this. All this madness and shit prior to the election in these cities, like just rampaging all over the place. Portland's like a third world country right now. Fucking Seattle, all that shit. All these democratic cities, man. Chicago, just going down in flames and looting and rioting. And I know there was the police brutality and all that shit, but I mean, some of this shit with this Antifa, you could get into Antifa, some of these democratic controlled cities just going down the toilet, and maybe just touch on that a little bit. I'm gonna just kind of listen. I'm gonna
let
hang up and listen.
Let me tell you
yeah.
this, bro. Speaking on that, what's your name again, my G? What's your name again? I'm sorry.
Dude, yeah, man. Sorry about this, bro. I got a bad connection. My name is Jason, bro.
Jason. Okay, so Jason, so check it out. So I was I don't agree with the Antifa shit and all this. How do you say it? These entities that promote the violence, right? You know, I mean,
right.
I feel like when you are out there and you are, well, I'm sorry, I'm a little faded right now, and the homie said I was getting fucked up. But when you're trying to promote agenda, it should be in a peaceful manner. I mean, sometimes it gets crazy. I get it. Rodney King beating, you know what I mean, all the above, you know, and they burn down fucking their neighbors' fucking liquor stores and whatnot.
Yeah,
but let me just tell you this, though, bro. When I went to the marches, I went to the rallies for the BLM in the beginning of the year in downtown LA, and I tripped, bro, because I would see certain cats, bro. They were dressed all in black. They had body armor on, bro. They were like, you know what I mean? They stood out the crowd, bro, you know?
Right.
And it made me think that they weren't possibly from the state of California. They were just, their agenda was there to create another level of
disruptors. They're called disruptors.
Yeah, protesting, you know what I mean? Another level of protesting, bro, you know? I don't, when you speak on that, that's what comes to my mind, bro. When I was out there in these protests, I was marching, bro. BLM movement. A lot of Mexicans were like, why you the BLM movement? And I'm like, well, because this shit trickles down to us, bro. What happens to them, it happens to us, bro, if you like it or not, you know what I mean? Right. But they were like, what have they ever done for us? Whoop. Are they gonna jump? They're beating up our palateros. They're fucking up our people on the streets, fuck them, whoop, you know what I mean? And I was just like, I that's a small percentage, you know what I mean? That arises, it does arise in the social media world, you know, but I was out there to help us, you know what I mean? The raza, you know what I mean? The brown folk, the dudes that are like me that are half Mexican and half fucking Jew, dog. You know what I mean? The dudes that regardless if you're half Jew, you're still looked at as a gang member, as a fucking Mexican, as a colored folk, you know. And I was out there for us, dog. You know what I mean? And I was out there not to go to jail, bro. I didn't want to go to jail. I just wanted to support the community, support what we believed in, you know what I mean, and show that, you know what I mean, numbers is strength.
Dude, that's a growth moment, man, because that shit feels good to go out there and stand up for what you believe in, stand together in unity with you know, people out there, and it's a fucking freedom of choice, man, that you exercise, and mad respect and props to you.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, dog. Who did you vote for?
I'm sorry, you're breaking up a little bit. What's that?
Who did you vote for?
Oh, bro, dude, you know, fuck, man.
Go ahead
I didn't
and
vote
say
for
it.
any of the two people in office, or I didn't vote for Biden or Trump, man.
Okay, and
I just kind of left that one alone.
Yeah, no, I get it. And a lot of people did, and I almost came
more of a local thing. For me.
I came close to doing that.
No, man, from the doc. What's that?
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, brother. We got a bad connection here, man. But I wanted to like kind of look at that too from the doctor's point of view. Do you think that all these cities that I mentioned, man, do you think the Democrats had something to do with that? Because those were all Democrat-run cities, man. They're just letting that shit burn to the ground and get all, you know, they weren't really being aggressive to stop that shit. And if that was the case, what would the political motive be behind that? Do you think there was a political motive all that madness?
So, Jason, first off, I'd like to say that I don't condone. Well, he's probably listening, but I don't condone violence or destruction. It doesn't do anything to move the needle, progress the conversation. What I can speak to is I believe people did that. People of color were losing their lives at an alarming number, and it was being this stuff is not like it's new. It's not a new thing happening. People being killed on the streets by law enforcement. It's just that it's being caught on camera at a higher rate. And so this is what we're seeing. It's not swept under the rug anymore. You have folks in these Democratic run cities, right? You have folks there because those are like-minded individuals who want the same thing. They want reform. They want consequences. They want justice served. And justice is not being served if you are, as a law enforcement official, being given paid you're taking a vacation with pay while they doing an investigation, right? I don't think there's much to investigate if you have the videotape there. Yeah, there is before the video starts rolling, but it's happening in Democratic run cities. Do you want to take that call? It's happening in Democratic run cities because folks in those cities are more active. They're gonna speak to it. When people were doing silent movements like Kaepernick taking a knee, it was a problem and it was un-American. So we protest. It's a problem. There you go.
You're on Hood Stocks. What up, my G?
Hey, what up, G? This is Z from San Bernardino.
Talk to me, my boy. What's cracking,
What's up,
San
man?
Bernardino? I.E. Stand the fuck up. We in the building.
That's right. That's right. Right here, just chilling, listening to the podcast.
What we gotta say, my G? Speak your mind, speak your thoughts, dog. This is an open fucking dialogue. This is an open discussion. All voices matter.
I think all this politics shit right now is just all bogus, especially 2020, dog. You feel me?
I feel it. I mean, I really feel it. I mean, you gotta choose the best of the evils. You know what I mean? Like, what side do you stand on? Do you stand on one, or you stand on the other? Or there's individuals who didn't vote for Biden or Trump, so basically your vote just didn't count. You know, your voice didn't count. You know what I mean? So how do you want your voice to count? You know, how was your voice counted?
Well, shit, I can't vote, so I just don't. Hey, but I'm glad Trump's out. You know what I mean? Because I think.
Wait. Why can't you vote? Why can't you vote, bro?
Selling.
Did you know that the measure passed that restores voting rights for people who serve their prison sentence? Yeah, that was on the ballot this year, this November. So you'll be able to vote come January.
So let me tell you this right now. Hey, what's your name again, my G?
Just E.
Okay, hey, check it out, my boy. So I got 13 years in the prison system. I have felonies, you know, whoop, who cares, right? And I registered to vote this year through my union, and it was crazy because I was like, all right, I'm gonna register to vote. I'll see what happens, you know what I mean? And sure enough, your boy Lucky Sun Tzu, Hoodstocks podcast entrepreneur, got a ballot in the mail, and I was like, oh shit, okay. So I always thought that I couldn't vote. Now, maybe at a certain point in time I couldn't vote, but I can vote now. You know, so you should have filled out that registration form and see if you were actually able to vote or not right now.
Yeah, you might as well register.
But I'm just glad Trump didn't win this shit. You know what I mean? And that's what it is, because he's disrespectful. You know what I mean? Not about what he's. You know what I mean? How he is just the way he disrespects the Raza and shit. And I know anybody else race will feel the same way. If it was black, Chinese, whatever, you know what I mean?
I mean, how do you feel about the Raza that are supporting Trump? You know what I mean? What do you feel about them?
Latinos for Trump.
Hey, I don't know, dog. Like how can I say that's just like a big slap to their parents that are, you know, or to their parents that parents that goes back to generations.
So what we see with that is we see the subpopulation that follows Trump, the Latinos for Trump, right? Those are folks who have gained some status. Generally speaking, they have gained some status. They're better off than others of the Latino community, and now that they got some status, now they forget where they've come from or their heritage, and now they want to say, well, we don't want these immigrants coming over or whatever it is. So we want to support his agenda because he's going to ensure that people don't come over who don't do it the right way, right? So that's a whole separate thing. But because they've gotten a little clout now, they've jumped on the bandwagon and feel that they're better than the others. But in reality, do they look better? No.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of, like, how can I say it, dude? Like I have an uncle. They came from Mexico when he was about maybe 13. He fixed his papers maybe when he was about 23, Now he's about in his 50s, and he's like when I asked him about Trump, he talked about him highly. I'm like, dude, would you have the same mentality years back?
Yep.
This guy wouldn't want you here. You know what I mean?
20 years ago, he wouldn't even had to say. He'd probably be incarcerated somewhere, or deported. So it's an eye opener when you see that, but you also have to look at it from their perspective. Folks that look at it that way, they felt they followed all the protocol. They went through all the red tape, did the right thing to earn that pathway to become a citizen, right? So that's their view. And now that they did it, they want to look back and say, well, if I did it, then you should do it. And if you don't do it, then you don't belong here. But when they use it with that, when they're using that lens, they fail to realize that not everyone is afforded the same pathway, or opportunities are different, or circumstances may prevent them from going through that path, right? So it's very blind or tone deaf to not take that into account. Is you're no better than anyone else. Just because you made it doesn't mean everyone else is. I think that folks should follow proper ways to do it, but not everyone is given that opportunity, you know. So you can't judge everyone the same. Did we lose you? I think we lost him, Luggy.
Oh, you lost him?
Or maybe he put himself on mute, but there he goes. Yeah, he lost. But nonetheless, yeah, that's what it is. Is just that people that get status now they want to move it, and that happens often. That people become more conservative minded, and they're looking out for their interests, which by no means is wrong. Everyone's got to look out for their own interests at the end of the day, right? Yeah. And so you want people representing you who are most aligned, who are going to serve your interests. And if they're not serving your interests, you don't want nothing to do with them. That's where we're getting this polarization. And so where do we go from here? What do you think? Where's the direction we head now with the incoming administration?
I mean, we just see what they present to us on the table. They're gonna set the table. I mean, when you go to any other person's table, you sit at the table and you see what they serve you, you know. Mm-hmm. and it might be something that you're not fucking
interested in.
You're
not about that meatloaf.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I'm allergic to meatloaf. That meatloaf looks like it fucking, you know what I mean. I mean, yeah, bro. You know, I guess we just take it one day at a time. You know, now obviously the American vote has spoke, and they said that we don't like the meatloaf that Trump is presenting to us, you know. So we're gonna go to the next recipe.
Yep, they said, Trump, you're fired.
Yeah,
we're getting a new chef in town.
We're getting a new chef in town, you know.
So I think that a lot of folks are making assumptions right now and drawing conclusions. Well, this is what Biden's going to do. Well, how do you know? Are you a mind reader? Should we what's the lottery numbers, right? Like, you don't know till he's in that role. Let's put him in that role. Once he's in the office, if he fails us, the people will speak in 4 years. And best believe people that are outspoken will hold him to account. If he has made misrepresentations or fails to deliver, then even people on the left will speak out like, dude, you got to go. We'll pick someone else. And that's the bottom line. That's what's beautiful about this process.
Democracy.
But when you start poking holes at it and saying it's not fair, isn't it weird how it's not fair only in places where you lost, but other states that were doing the similar process that you won, it was fair?
Yeah.
You can't be a hypocrite. Can't have a double standard.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, we're gonna figure out real soon what the fuck it is, and we'll deal with it accordingly.
And we'll go from there. Until then, stay tuned. Right, Part 3, 2021. We'll come back. We'll be here.
Yeah, most definitely. Hey, shout out to everybody that's tapped in. Shout out to all the callers that came in. I see a lot of people going back and forth in the chat line. It's a sensitive subject. Yeah. I mean, to me, it's not a real sensitive subject because I mean, I'm just that dude, you know what I mean? Just fucking smoking, drinking, and just watching all these fools act crazy, dog. You know what I mean?
Reality show.
Yeah, it's a reality show, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I get paid what I get paid, you know what I mean? And I got what I got. All right, the stimulus check didn't come in. All right, fuck it, I don't got that no more, you know what I mean?
Yep.
I work with what I got. And, excuse me. And you work with what you got, you know? Like, bro, like, at the end of the day, regardless of who's in the fucking White House, you're gonna work with what you got, and you're gonna make it work. You know.
Well, I just want to leave with this, Lucky. First off, thanks for having me, and what I want to leave your followers with is an avenue to connect with me if they need to, but also let's step away from the divisiveness and with the what about him isms, like what about him? What did he do? Well, he did this, he did that. Miss me with that. Let's not point the finger. Let's say, okay, well, this is where we effed up. This is where we're at. How do we fix it? Right? Not talk about what we did wrong. Yeah, you use that in the future, but let's talk about where we're going now. And let's go that route and let's see if it works. Give it an opportunity. And if we don't like it, change it again. Scrap it and move on.
Say no more. Hey, before we leave this podcast on Veterans Day, very important day. It's the birth date of Marines, 245 years old.
I think that was yesterday.
Was that yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
It's still belayed.
Belayed, yeah. You know.
245.
Yeah. Let's switch it up a little. Favorite rap artist?
Pac.
Pac?
No, really Snoop. I think the best is Pac, but my favorite will always be Snoop. I grew up in the 90s.
Favorite movie?
Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction? Pulp Fiction was dope. That was dope.
Or Wolf of Wall Street, but Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. Favorite color?
Black. Silver and black.
Oh, silver and black.
Black is black.
Nah, I'm just fucking with you, dog. You know what I mean? Nah, that's my shit too. Black. I'll be on the black and black type of shit. On GP, Snoop is fake. You know, bro. I mean, at the end of the day, when you build a certain level of celebrity, there is always going to be doubters. There is always going to be individuals that are saying that you aren't real. Here I am right here at Hoodstocks, Lucky Sun Zoo. You know what I mean? You guys know who I am. There's going to be a point in time where I elevate my subscribers, and they're going to say, you know what? Fuck Lucky. Lucky's not real. Lucky's not this. Lucky's not that. You know? It just comes with the numbers. It comes with the territory. It comes with the presidency. It comes with politics. It comes with all levels of everything where people are going to disagree if they're emotionally disagreeing or if they're disagreeing by some real factual evidence. But at the end of the day, we're fucking humans. We're trying to live our best life, right? I'm trying to live my best life, dog. You know what I mean? Don't fuck with my shit, homie. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You trying to live your best life?
Every day.
Every day. Trying to live your best. We just trying to live our best life. Red, blue, states. Like, who gives a fuck? I don't give a fuck, bro. I do give a fuck, but at the end of the day, like, don't fuck with me with these colors and shit. You know what I mean? Like, we trying to live our best life. We trying to give the best opportunities to our kids. We're trying to, like, just do what's right in our life, you know? And time will dictate what that fucking is, you know? I don't have too many words in this shit. I'm fucking solely speaking off of emotion. And sometimes when you speak off emotion, you stand to be corrected, you know? When you speak off emotion, you stand to be corrected. I can always stand to be corrected. You know what I mean? I live in a glass house, you know? You as a person that's, I mean, how did you get the doctor before your name?
I earned it. I went to school for, grew up in the hood, did all the nitty gritty, but in between time and in the meantime, I have 25 years of school under my belt. I know I look 25, but I got 25 years of school under my belt, and that's K through 12, 13, and then another 12 years of education. So I went to school, started off at community college, all the way up through my bachelor's, master's, went to law school for a bit, got a lot of coursework in there, and then decided to go the doctor route. So I'm a doctor of public administration from the University of Laverne here, right across the street. So University of Laverne, my expertise is in government ethics. It's a big issue right now, right? Corruption, self-interest, cronyism, nepotism, bringing your family in to
What
run
is
the White House.
what is cronyism and nepotism?
So, good question. So, cronyism is, say I get into office, right? Say I become the governor and I bring in my folks. So, you may or may not be qualified, but I say, hey, Lucky, I want you to run the Department of Transportation for California. You're my guy because you're my guy. And bringing in my network over whoever I see fit over those qualified for the position that have done this as a career profession. That's cronyism, bringing in your people. Nepotism is what we see in the White House, bringing in your family to run your business, and in this case, it's government. So nepotism, bringing in your daughter, your son-in-law to, okay, you're the head of international relations. Now you're running the coronavirus task force. Not qualified, have no background in medical science, no research analytic background. So those are facets of unethical behavior in government. And so that's where my expertise lies. So we can talk about what is ethical, what is unethical, what may be borderline, but not illegal. So I earned my degree. I did 4 years in a doctorate program or doctoral program. Came out the other side, got my Super Bowl ring here, my doctorate. You know, I'm not an NFL player. I'll never play in a Super Bowl. So getting a doctorate, that's my Super Bowl. I put in the work. A lot of blood, sweat, and hair pulling went into this degree. You're supposed to do it in 7 years. I did it in 4.
Wow. Congrats to you, my G. Congrats to you. Where do you see this? Where do you see our future going, bro?
As far as the people of Earth?
Just in general, politics, everything, bro.
Right now, it's too new to call, you know. So I am optimistic that we will see it. I'd be naive to say everything's going to be better now that we got Biden. And no, that's not the reality. But I am optimistic it'll be a start. I am optimistic that we shall see in the near future some changes rolled out on the strategy of how America handles COVID and in response to it. Like it wasn't us who started it, but we are responsible for how we address it within our country because that's within the scope of what we are capable of. So I see a decentralized strategy that was implemented by the current administration. And now we'll see Biden's talking a big game. Let's see if he rolls some type of unified effort out to standardize how the American people or America tackles COVID. So I believe, aside from COVID, that I'm optimistic that there will be some new policies coming into play that will benefit more folks in America that need that assistance, while still allowing those who thrive in the capitalistic society to stay on course because they'll be unimpacted by it. They may be paying some more taxes now because remember, these millionaires fall into that $400,000 a year tax bracket or higher. So you're gonna break bread more equitably. But I just see some positive starts. We're always gonna poke holes and point the finger or say, well, he said he was gonna do this, but he didn't do it. Okay, well, you can't do much in 4 years. If you do it in 8 years, then you've done something. But 4 years, it's just to get the ball rolling.
100%. If you were the president of the United States, how would you deal with COVID-19?
So with COVID-19, first off, I wouldn't just shoot from the hip, so to speak, right? Just however I feel that morning, wake up and say, this is how we're doing it, or saying what we're doing is wrong. I am a doctor in ethics, right? So that's my expertise in running government. So if people came to me as the expert and wanted to know about that, and a matter of fact they have, I would give them guidance on that. Talk to a lot of elected officials and give them some guidance. With that said, if we're looking at COVID, you need to listen to those that are in that field, Dr. Fauci, the Surgeon General, who are the experts. Dr. Fauci, if you don't know who he is a infectious disease expert who has dedicated his entire life. The dude's in his 70s. So he's been in the game since he started doing it, over 50. I don't know his resume exactly, but over 50 years in it. You want to listen to someone like that to inform your decisions. You want to listen to medical experts in different, not only in one part of the country, but in different geographic areas of the country, to see if the impact of COVID is resin or is producing the same outcomes or effects, or if in certain areas like in the northwest Oregon, is it having a different impact? Well, how does the environment play into that? So you take all that data or the feedback from the folks that are seeing it on the ground, and you utilize a strategy that is recommended from the infectious disease experts, from the CDC, Center for Disease Control. From there, you have all the information, and that's where you, as the president, decide what you want to do. So those are all your pieces, Lucky. Now you pick. It's for you to decide.
Exactly. You take the information that's presented in front of you, and you deal with it from there, basically.
Yeah, you don't say, well, don't wear a mask, yeah, we're not going to allow big gatherings, but then you yourself have a big gathering and everyone there gets COVID, So it's COVID does not have bounds. If you got money, you're going to still get hit with COVID.
I mean, because a lot of people are infatuated with the fact of Trump keeping the country going in regards to, a business being open, opposed to it shutting everything down and stopping the economy from people growing and getting that paycheck.
Yep. So that's another piece, right? What are the economic ramifications? What are the impacts? If we shut down the economy, a lot of industry will fail. America will lose GDP, gross domestic product. It's going to have negative consequences, right? But at the end of the day, if we were to take a unified approach, the strategy would have a timeline. And if we did something for a little bit of time, it may change the course of what we're doing. But a fundamental question would be, what's more important to you, the life of you and your family or your money? And that's hard to reconcile, because folks will need to have money to survive. So how do you reconcile that, right? That's where those experts come in. That's what they're getting paid top dollars for, to inform your decisions based on what they know. Now, I don't have access to that information because I'm not in the White House, but I'm sure they have a game plan and they're just not executing.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm glad I'm not in that position, because no way could I ever make a definite decision on that. You know what I mean? But hey, I want everybody, thank you for everybody tuning in. Let me see what you got. I think most of the guys grow up just around their people and don't understand the Mexican Americans who grew up in a Mexican society. When is Backpages opening back? Backpage?
Man, it's a whole different ballgame over here.
That's next level. I'm new here. Shout out to Carlos P. I appreciate you being here. Everybody that's here, subscribe, hit that like button so this shit moves forward for people that might need to hear this fucking conversation right here. It's not for everybody, I know, especially Republicans, you know what I mean? But I'm having a Republican on in the next couple weeks that will speak up for you guys, you know what I mean? Jose, Maria, Lucky 2024. Nah, bro, you don't want me there, dog. I'll fuck everything up, dog. You know what I mean? No way can I ever execute that level of shit, you know what I mean? Shit, you know what I mean? I'll say shit, you know what I mean? Daniel, Raya. That's right, Lucky, 100%. I love you guys, dog. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Everybody give it up for Dr. Anthony Felix Jr.